Hello and welcome to Flicks and Chill with me, Luke. Today I have a very special guest on my show. Chris is here. So Chris, why don't you take it away and please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Chris Bakker. I am Dutch, and I am, like Luke, part of the Sif Pop writing staff. Or, well, we're not exactly staff, are we? We're volunteers,
Volunteers,
basically.
yeah,
Yes,
fans.
yes, we're fans. Yeah, it's very nice to be here with you today.
Thank you, thank you. Well, so glad you decided to join me. I love how part of your interaction is I'm a Dutch. Like that's your personality. Do
I
love that.
mean, yeah, but I always imagine that. I mean, this is an international podcast, obviously, and we don't know, or at least I don't know where your listeners are from. But it's nice to, I don't know, have some sort of signifier,
Mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm.
in which I may be different from a lot of people you've spoken to, and maybe also different from a lot of people who listen.
Oh
Um,
yeah, oh yeah. No, you're 100% the first Dutch person I've had on this show. So
okay, well,
yeah. See, congrats. Congrats.
yay,
I know, right? And no, so I've actually been to the Dutch or Netherlands,
the
right? A couple of
Dutch.
times. The Dutch, yes. And I have a very specific question, right? Before we
Yes.
get to you, I have a very specific question. And this might bore everybody else, but I kind of want to know. And I could have Googled it, but I didn't. So when I was driving on your like highways or speedways or whatever you know, freeways, whatever you want to call them, right? My GPS or the car I had like rented car, right?
Hmm.
And I had a GPS on. And basically every couple of miles or kilometers, there was always like, oh, you can go 120, and then suddenly it was like only 70 in this like wee bit of a road, but
Yeah.
nobody was slowing it down besides me. And I'm like, so does that matter? B, do people not care? Like, what's that spiel there?
Um,
Do you know what I'm talking about? Or are you just now confused?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't have a driver's license. I don't have a
Ah,
car.
shit.
So I don't spend a whole lot of time on the freeways.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I do spend my fair share of time driving, maybe with other people. So I do know sort of what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain areas on the speedways where the lower speed limit is only at certain times of day or at, in
Okay.
certain days of the week, maybe even.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if your GPS picked it up wrong or if the speed limit wasn't in effect at that point
Okay.
or if people just didn't care because that also sometimes happens. But yeah, the speed limits do vary kind of broadly across our speedways, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't always be sure why.
Okay.
But yeah, 70 seems weird though. That doesn't
Or
seem like
it
a
was
thing
either
that
70 or 80. And I remember that because I try to follow rules, especially when abroad, because I don't want to fucking get a ticket. Like, it was a company hire car, so I don't want to, a
right.
couple of weeks later, hey, Lucas, yeah, like, you got a speeding ticket from in Netherlands. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And it's so like I'm trying to be a good boy, okay? So I try to follow the rules. And suddenly, 120, 130, all good. And suddenly my GPS says 70, 80. I'm like, what? So I slow down, but everybody else around me just, and I'm
All right,
like,
so
what?
did you see like sign markers on the road itself, or were you just
There
listening
were
to your
some,
GPS?
there were some, yes. And it seemed like every 10, 15 kilometers or so, because I was driving like 2.5 hours from, I just forgot. What's the fucking Schiphol? Schiphol. Wait, is it Schiphol or Schiphol, right?
It's Schiphol. You wouldn't
Schiphol.
be able to
Yes.
pronounce that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Schiphol.
that's the airport. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. I was driving from there to not Rotterdam, no. Gronenberg. Gronenberg, yes. Gronenberg. No?
No, I don't think that's a place.
It is, well, wait.
Groningen?
Groningen. Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry, sorry,
Okay.
sorry. Groningen, yes. Nice. It's lovely there. It's lovely. And it's like 2.5 hours. So, and every 15, 20 kilometers, like, there was it seemed like pretty consistent. And as I've always wondered, what is that about? Because, like where I'm from, Scotland, we, like, on a freeway, we have, like, maybe certain dangerous turns where, you cannot drive 70 miles. You need to slow down to 50 for, like, 200 meters or half a mile or whatever, right?
Sure.
Understandable. But this was just a straight line.
Yeah, we're
And I'm
very
like,
flat and not a
yes,
whole lot of dangerous corners.
yes. So that's why it caught my attention. I'm like, why?
There must have been something because if it was a regular thing, maybe
But
it's to
again,
do
nobody else
with.
was slowing down. So like that's my other like question. Like do Dutch drivers just like it's fine. I know I'm not gonna get a ticket. I'm not gonna slow down.
I mean, there is a certain amount of that in Dutch people. Yeah, that like following rules for the sake of rules isn't necessarily high on a lot of people's lists. It's a lot of common sense practices.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, mostly if people who drive there regularly know that there are no speed cameras there, then they will drive as fast as they think to be responsible, and
Hmm.
yeah, screw the rules basically.
So Dutch are kind of proper like European, like as you said, like there's rules, but if the rule doesn't make sense to you guys, you just don't follow it.
Yeah, rules need to make sense.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very much a thing here.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice, nice. So obviously, okay, we move on from this very niche topic because I'm
This is
like,
an important thing to discuss.
again, important for me. Okay, like I wanted to know, and I wanted to know from
Sure.
our resident Dutch person right here. Like I'm not gonna ask Google. That's very, very impersonal. But besides, so obviously we both love movies, hence why you're here. But besides movies, do you have any other hobbies? What makes Chris? Do you have any likes, other dislikes?
I would say that generally who I am is someone who loves stories.
Okay.
And whether that's a movie or a video game or my own ongoing Dungeons and Dragons campaigns,
Mm,
that's basically where a lot of my time goes. My free
hmm.
time is fully invested in
Okay. Okay.
either watching movies, playing video games, preparing or running D&D, and doing a little bit of writing when I have the time or the
Hmm.
inspiration.
Hmm. Hmm. So
So,
D&D, okay, like as I said in the past on this podcast, I have never played single D&D in my life. I know of it. Obviously, I've seen a
mhm.
movie that I really liked, Dungeons and Dragons from 2 years ago now, but I've never actually gotten into it because I don't even know. I'm sure there's the places here that would have it. So, what is it your love for stories that like pushes you towards Dungeons and Dragons, or was it something else that sparked that interest for you?
Um, it's sort of a combination of the fact that um, it's this very weird thing. I always describe role playing games like D&D as okay. Imagine if you either are the one who wrote a book or
Hmm.
you're someone reading a book, but um your instincts and your reactions to that story can change it
Hmm.
if needed.
Hmm.
And that's the biggest appeal of it for me is that imagine a writer sitting around a table with four of their readers
Hmm.
and getting instant feedback
Okay.
and those readers being like no this character would do that.
Mm.
And it's an imperfect analogy because obviously there's a lot of gamesmanship involved. There's like dice rolls and stuff like that, so you can't just say what you want to happen without, um, going through the game mechanics to get there. But that's the appeal of role playing games to me.
Okay. Okay. So, have you? Correct me if I'm wrong. There is a skill to being the dungeon master, the one that actually like plans everything, right?
Um, sure, yeah. I'm not sure how lofty of a skill set it is, but
Hmm.
there are certainly skills involved. Yeah.
Like if let's say, I think there's a skill in a way where if I were to start right now, right, I don't think it would be sensible for me like to be like, oh yeah, and I'll do this my very first D&D session as a like I would probably fucking suck. I don't know to be a bad campaign, I would imagine, because I don't know the mechanics, I don't know the game, so I couldn't even create, excuse me, the story.
Sure. I mean, there are pre-written books, campaign books or adventure books that you can buy, and as long as you can
Hmm.
take the time to sort of read through them and understand where the story or where the setting is supposed to go. If you have an understanding of that, you can basically run a game of D&D without
Hmm.
any sort of. um, prior experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it also very much depends, I think, on who your players are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the one thing that held me back from DMing immediately was as well like I've never played before.
Mm-hmm.
How am I gonna get around to that if I have no idea of how the game's played at the table? Um, but the real thing is like when D&D was invented in 1974, nobody had played or DM'd. But that first table did have to have players and a DM. Like if
Yes.
you were a group of 14-year-old kids in the 70s and you were like, hey, this new game came out, let's play it. Someone had to DM.
Mm-hmm.
So people have done it for 50 years at this point. So if people have done it in the 70s, then you can do it as well.
Yeah.
And the main
Somehow.
thing about it is like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
maybe that first session will suck, but
Mm-hmm.
you'll still be having fun.
Yeah.
And if your players have also never played before, they won't know you suck.
I didn't even know that's when it started, 74. And somehow, like I'm thinking about it, it feels too early, but also too late. Like somehow I felt it's like a Schrodinger's like D&D. For some, I somehow thought it's way too early, but also way too late for something like as big as D&D. I'm like,
Sure. Yeah, I
hmm.
mean the real like the modern D&D really started about like 10, 12 years ago
Hmm.
with like Critical Role is a massive streaming show that really popularized it. All obviously Stranger Things
Yeah, yeah.
made use of D&D, but even that is a throwback to D&D in the 80s.
So, and I'm guessing you've already been a dungeon master for some sessions?
For I think I've got about 7 years now being a
Wow.
DM.
Wow. So, what was your most, let's say, fun? Well, I guess it's not a session. It would be more like a campaign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the most fun campaign you've DM'd and why? What makes that like the most fun for you?
Was my most fun campaign. I did a sort of like a frontier campaign where, um,
Explain what does that mean?
well, as was it was in the real world
Okay.
when the Americas were discovered and you got the frontiersmen. So
Ah,
I did sort of that, but in a fantasy world
okay.
where my players arrived on what was essentially like very bare bones um, civilizations, like little towns and villages being set up by all these different cultures that already existed, and then they had to sort of find a way to diplomatically make those people all get along while also being under threat of like the monsters that were still living on that newly discovered continent.
I do like
That
how you're
was
such a nice person that like you've included they need to get along diplomatically. We are not gonna do what the what the original settlers have done. We're gonna do
well,
we're gonna choose diplomacy here, okay?
yeah. I mean, that's sort of the thing. Well, the thing that went wrong, obviously, in America was that there were already people living there,
I mean,
which was
was it
not the case in my D&D game.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, was it a feature or was it a bug? Like, some people say it was a fe like, depending
Yeah.
on who you talk to nowadays, like, they'll tell you two different things.
I mean,
It's
that's sort of the thing about D&D in general is that there are always people that are not getting along, but it's the idea is that it's a game about heroes, right? So what do
mhm,
heroes do?
mhm,
They don't get involved in petty sort of sabotage and warfare. They try to
mhm,
help people.
mhm.
So you have to give them, avenues where they can be heroic, where they can feel like they've done good things.
Yeah.
So diplomacy is only one part of that, but it is an important one, I think. Politics to me is very important in D&D.
And in real life too, to be
Well,
honest.
yeah,
To be like, as somebody once said, you don't have to be political, but politics will deal with you. So you might as well just be political.
yeah. I once heard someone say that, like, someone said that they weren't really political, and the other person was like, "All right, well, do you live anywhere?
Mhm.
Do
Yeah.
you do you work somewhere? Do you do
Do
you
you live in a civilization? Like,
exactly? Yeah. Do you have neighbors? Do you use the roads? Do you get involved in life?
no, I always say like, yeah, at some point, if you really want it, right? Yeah, you can buy a one-way ticket to a jungle someplace in the middle of Amazon, and you can just try to fuck off the grid, but most people would die within a week.
Sure. And even
Like,
if you did make it work, that sooner or later somebody would come find you
Mm,
or would just run into you and be like, "Hey, this land actually belongs to someone. You can't be here." That's
yeah,
politics too.
true. That is true. Yeah. But yeah, and also, so you mentioned games, like, and I know from the little, because obviously you're not really on any social media, but I know from the little I know of you, you are a gamer, if I'm
Mhm.
correct. Is
Yeah.
that's yeah. So I have a guess, but tell me, what is your favorite game? And we're talking about not board games, obviously. We're talking about like, PC, Xbox, whatever.
Right. Right now, I
Mm.
mean, I'm just turning into a stereotype already, but right now it's Baldur's Gate 3,
Yeah,
which came
that's what
out
yeah,
like two
yeah.
years ago at this point. But
Mm.
yeah, it's so massive that I could probably still be playing that if I if I really wanted to.
Have you also played, like once upon a time, a World of Warcraft by any chance?
I did, but I wouldn't say that I played it for long enough to really say I played it.
Okay. What does that mean? So like only, let's say, 5 hours, 10 hours?
Yeah, just about that. Long enough to really feel the fact that
Mm.
um it wasn't designed to do the thing that I wanted it to do.
I was gonna say, so what made you stop? What made you say this game, not for me?
Well, it sort of has a lot of the same issues that many MMOs have, which is that it's a story that treats you as if you are this chosen one, this really important person who will
Mm.
eventually
I like change the world.
like
Let's say.
save the world or
Yeah,
change it or affect
yeah.
these massive changes in community or civilizations. But then every other quest you pick up is someone says like, well, I need 17 flowers, can you go get them for me? And it's just an enormous disconnect between keeping you as the player busy to get you experience points
Hmm.
and then this massive overarching story with warfare and politics and stuff that you're supposed to be involved in, but
Hmm.
you're meanwhile off collecting bear asses.
Well, have you ever thought about, that game is teaching you to be a valued member of society, of community? Okay,
I
maybe that's
mean,
the reason.
sure, but that's not necessarily. I mean, I do like games like that
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
you fulfill a role that um with other people also playing that. Okay, well, I'm going to be collecting all these flowers because I'm going to make dyes for the tailor who
Yeah,
makes clothing.
yeah.
That can be very fun, but I don't think that really works on me if the premise of the story of the game is that you're going to save the world in some fashion,
Hmm.
especially because you know that there are thousands, if not millions, of other people also playing who are also the chosen one, who are also saving the
Hmm.
world.
Hmm.
That, yeah, that disconnect did not do it for me, and it does not work on me with a lot of MMOs. I think
Okay.
the only MMO that I really got into for a while was Eve Online, which is sort of like a space age
Mm.
sort of thing. But the reason that worked on me is because there was no overarching story that told you that you were massively important. It was exactly what you said you liked, which is that you are a cog in a machine. It was all about these player created companies and corporations that exploited like asteroids and built
Hmm.
all their own ships and fleets and stuff. And that was, yeah, that I could key into because I wasn't being lied to about what I was doing there.
I was gonna say, why would I play as a person, as a gamer, let's say, right? And he said, "Oh, you were just in a cog in a machine." I'm like, why would I like I'm trying to escape my reality of being actual cog in a machine. Why would I sit down in front of my PC and
That
with
is
my
That
little
is the
spare time?
reputation that EVE Online has. Yeah, it's not a game, it's your second job.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no, I'm trying to escape this. And it's like, oh, welcome to this game where grind this for this company. Then you go to this, do this shift for this
Well,
company. I'm like,
that
what?
was the thing though, that is because all those companies are purely player created. Everything in that game happened because a player decided to do it,
Fuck's sake.
which is an interesting way to build out your world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I mean, I'm making it sound quite boring in terms of like, oh, you're harvesting asteroids and you're building
Mm-hmm.
ships in your dry dock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also obviously like pirates to go fight and stuff like that. So there was actual gameplay
Okay.
involved in it. But yeah,
Well, yeah, I don't know if I don't think I ever fought as, pirate, so that would be cool. Have you ever played the last gaming question? Have you ever played No Man's Sky?
I have not, and I
Hmm.
am principally opposed to ever doing so.
Why?
Okay, so as a gamer, this hurts me. This hurts me deeply. As a gamer, there has only ever been one game developer who has been on a late night talk show in America, and it
Ooh.
is Sean Murray, who is the head of Hello Games that
Okay.
developed No Man's Sky.
Hmm.
And he sat there with a controller in his hand, pretending to play while they ran a video full of things that did not actually exist in the game.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Okay.
this man lied on American national television, and it is now almost 10 years later, and a lot of those things still do not exist in that game. So I will not be playing.
Okay, first of all, American men lying on a national television, like they have selected them quite a few presidents like that. So like, okay,
No,
let's.
this is all true, of
I
course.
know.
I take issue mostly with the fact that he is the only game developer to ever be on an
Yeah.
American late
No,
night talk show,
I get you.
giving the entire industry a bad name by lying about his product.
But also, when I reason I'm asking this question is, I've also never played it, but also like I haven't played any game since last 3 years ago. I'm guessing, unless we count chess. I play. That's the only game I play regularly. But the reason I'm asking is, I've actually heard that the No Man's Sky, yes, like I've heard obviously what you're talking about. The promos light, how much you can actually do, what can be done, and it was when it was launched, it was very bare bones game with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of promises. Oh, this is gonna come in, in the future. This is gonna come in, and so people like you, many people are on the same page or were on the same page as you. Absolutely, like no, 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 fuck this, I'm not playing this. But 10 years later, 2025. And I hear many have turned around because now apparently they are still giving people new content on like a monthly basis or like a semi-regular basis for free. You don't have to buy any DLCs or anything. And now it's at the point where it really resembles to what they've actually promised. It took them 10 years, but now apparently, I don't know how true it is or not, but it's like many people are praising it as like this is actually fucking great. And I just wish it wouldn't take them 10 years to do it.
Yeah. Now I know the conversation around it these
Hmm.
days is like this is a success story about how to turn around a terrible launch.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm very happy for the people who are very happy with the game now. I am, yeah, I'm still. It's a matter of principle at this point for me. Like probably even if it actually gets to the point where everything they promise is in there, I probably still wouldn't touch it.
Damn, you're such a principled man.
I mean, on very specific things, yes.
Okay, I do, but see, the thing is, I kind of respect that. Like, there's a way, there's like a tiny bit of me like, yeah, but you should still try it to see maybe you like it. But at the same time, like, you know what? This is the kind of pettiness I live for. It's just like, hey, this person fucking like lied to me and cheated and like like pretended that he's playing the game. I do, yeah, I do like it.
Honestly, if it had just been that their trailers were
Hmm.
like vertical slices, which they do often for various games, which is not necessarily a huge thing that I hold against it. But if it was just that, if it
Hmm.
was just that the marketing was a little overblown, I probably would be playing by now or would
Hmm.
have played it by now.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
it's just the fact how far they took it.
Okay. No, and again, all jokes aside, I think that's fair because I, as a non-gamer, and I again never played it, I still remember that launch. And like, yeah, that was a
Yeah.
shit storm right after. Like, people were just not happy. You
I
are not
mean,
the only one, like by far, yes.
as point of comparison,
Hmm.
I don't know. It is a couple years ago at this point, but like the Cyberpunk 2077 launch,
Yep.
also terrible launch.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
game has also been turned around completely. That game runs very well, plays very well. Everything that was kind of promised is now in there. And I
Hmm.
have played that game
Hmm.
because it's just that the launch was bad.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, game just didn't run very well. A lot of people had problems with it on their systems, but that's in terms of performance.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that can be fixed.
Yes.
It's not in the case like No Man's Sky, where all the things that they said were in it, like features and stuff, that just didn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I also remember those memes and people complaining how, like, yeah, like loading the game and then the game crashes. Oh, that's great. Fun
Yeah,
times. Glad I paid my $70 for this. I'm like,
yeah.
oh
That's
shit.
getting even. That's it's getting more commonplace, sadly, in video games. Like a lot of games are being launched without being complete, and
Yep.
it's a shame.
This is one of the things that, like, lack of free time and me being full into movies and TV shows is that, and honestly, but this is one of the big things that's stopping me from ever going back to being a gamer because I cannot imagine looking forward to this title and then getting my hands on it and suddenly be like, oh well, this is not working. What the fuck? Wait, why is this glitching? Why is it? Why did it crash? Like
Yeah,
I would be like, and again nowadays we're like where I live. New game is about 60, 70 pounds. That ain't cheap.
yeah,
Nope. No, 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 no. Like, again, like, and I fucking hate that part of the reason is companies just need to push out, hey, we have a deadline. It's kind of like movies. Hey, we have a deadline. We have a deadline.
yeah.
Oh, the CGI doesn't look that great. Okay, well, we have a deadline. There's a poster with a fucking date. So, like, we need to deliver.
Yeah, it'd be like if the CG wasn't done to the point where you couldn't even get to see the movie.
I
That's
mean,
basically what's going on with video games. Like some of them are
yes.
just not running. Um, but I mean, there's an entire movement called like patient gamers, which is
Mm-hmm.
like a group of people who like share information with each other. Like, hey, now this game from 2 years ago is playable in the state that was promised,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's when they decided, okay, this game is now considered to be out. This is not. This
Yes.
is today is the actual launch date. You can play it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. No,
And
I do
that
like that.
also like it saves you a lot of money because oftentimes that goes along with the game's 2 years old technically.
Yes.
So there's now a discounted price for it. So it's
Mhm.
ends up saving you a lot of money. Besides, there are enough video games to go around. You that you don't have to play anything at the week it comes out.
Oh, 100%. If there's so many movies and TV shows to watch, like video games, forget about it. There's like, I know, again, I don't play, but I know there's even, like AAA titles. There are big games, and then there are indie. There's an entire genre of indie games that are supposed to be excellent. So,
Yeah, that's really. I mean, it's the same as with cinema. Like
yeah.
the independent studios is really where you want to be looking for
Hmm.
someone who had a quality idea.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Well, okay.
Because yeah,
Hmm.
AAA games and blockbuster movies are very similar in a way that you might not expect. It's just a lot of the same stuff over and over.
A lot of the same problems, yes. A
Yeah,
lot of the same, like, at the end of the day, there's a team of people behind every movie or every game, and they only get a limited amount of time, limited amount of resources, and they try to do their best. I genuinely think most people at our, well, what I'm saying our level, meaning like cogs in a machine, not the bosses and the managers and CEOs. I genuinely think most of those people, whether they are working on a movie or a game or a album, whatever the fuck, I genuinely think those are trying to do their best.
yeah.
But I think a lot of times they are like, everything is kind of set up against them. Like for example, I know that like games, like people, like gaming industry still doesn't have unions. And I'm like,
They're working on it.
yeah, like I know they're working on it, but I think they've been working on it for a while now. And
Yeah, that's
and I
kind of the
wonder
problem.
why, and I wonder why it's not happening. Mm.
Yeah, I mean it's the weird thing because the industry is so fractured. Obviously, I mean, um, like the voice actors have a union
Yes.
because they are like independent contractors, right?
Hmm.
So they can decide on what sort of contracts they sign and stuff. But if you're a game dev, you have a contract with the studio.
Hmm.
So many of those unions are focused on unionizing just those workers at that specific studio. So they
Yes.
don't have an overarching organization,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, which would probably be useful if there was. But I think in order for that to be created, there have to be these smaller unions within studios first.
Yes. Which, I wonder why some big studios don't want any third party or any union to be there. I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder.
Hmm. Anyway, so you're based in Netherlands. Do you want to specify any city or do we just keep it Netherlands?
Well, considering the crux of the question, I know a lot more about my city than about the broad rest of the country. So I live in a city called Leiden.
Like, okay. No, I just like I don't want you to like out yourself just in case it's a
No, that's fine.
okay. All right. So okay, so you know the crux of the question, so here we go. So if I were to ask you, Chris, hey, I'm coming there just for 1 week, just for a holiday, what would we see? Where would you recommend me to go? Where would you recommend me to eat? Because I know Netherlands is quite famous for a few dishes. So
Is it?
API. Well, pommes frites? Is it not the...
Those are Belgian.
Is it? Wait, is it? I thought it
I
was...
mean, we do have them,
Okay,
so
okay.
you can get them. Yeah.
I thought they were...
No.
See, like I'm such a dumbass. I genuinely thought those are from you guys. Like I know stroopwafels, obviously,
Yes.
but it's like that's such a thing. I
That's
don't
not
know.
really cuisine though. That's like a snack. That's a cookie. That's
Fair,
you're not going
but
to go to a restaurant to get some stroopwafels.
I mean, maybe there's like some fancy schmancy I don't know about. But
I
no.
mean, they're definitely if you make your way to a market like in the city
Mhm.
center, there will definitely be stalls
Mhm.
that serve like fresh stroopwafels, that which will probably blow your mind.
Yes. All
So
right.
that yeah, so yeah, market stalls are probably a good thing
Mm-hmm.
to yeah. If you're here for a week, then you're definitely here on Tuesday when there is a market.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would suggest. Otherwise, though, like the big stuff is like our National History Museum or the
Mm-hmm.
like our more yeah, basically our museums geared to like ancient history, natural history. We have a whole bioscience park.
Mm-hmm.
um I think the main thing about our natural history museum, and this is the big one, they have, I think it's the third most complete T-Rex skeleton in
Wow.
the world. So it's
Okay.
like 80% of a complete T-Rex. You can just stand next to it.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was like a child.
Nice.
Wait, no, it's not. It hasn't been there long enough for me to have been a child. I think it's been there for about a decade. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
but I have been there. Yeah, I've sit there.
Still
It's
cool.
uh, it's really cool. It really just. I mean, it's big, right? It is
Mm-hmm.
big. I don't want to say that the movie's exaggerated, but it is kind of not as big as you'd expect.
Okay. Okay.
So if
Okay.
you're watching Jurassic Park
Mm-hmm.
and you see that T Rex, I mean, the main difference is obviously that it's a skeleton and it's not moving, so it's not as
Yes.
threatening. But yeah, I was kind of surprised by how not huge it is. Maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
also to do with the pose because it's sort of like leaning forward. It's
Yeah.
long, it's not that high.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting.
So that's something you'd want to see. Maybe you'd want to go to Corpus, which is a museum that is basically built like a human body, so you can move through all different parts of the human anatomy.
I've heard about that. That always intrigued me. Like I've always seen pictures from that museum because like every once in a while there's like a article on one of our Czech websites like, "Hey, this is cool thing to see in Netherlands." And I'm like, "Ooh, that is actually quite cool." So like, yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. Then obviously, I mean, it's an old city, so there's a
Mhm.
lot of like streets and courts from like the 1600s that are still
Yeah.
intact in the way they were. That's always a nice little thing to blow your mind. You can just cross a street at some point, and you're like 400 years ago just by crossing one bridge.
Yep.
You can go visit the studio where Rembrandt learned to paint if you
Ooh.
wanted to do that. That's over here. And yeah, it really is mostly interesting museums and just like the old town feel of the city center.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Those are the main things that I would point you to.
That sounds pretty cool, to be honest. So it's more like so your town is more of a educational kind of holiday.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, we do also have the oldest university in the country. Like the first
Oh,
university was founded here, so we're very much a college town. We have a lot of international students here and stuff. So I think
nice.
the entire vibe is sort of. I mean,
So a lot of
um,
young people running around.
a lot of young people running around. The nickname for the town is like the city of discovery, which also keys into like it's very much sort of like an educational
Mm.
university town feel.
Is that a double entendre? Like, oh, city discovery, and like they might discover something else about themselves. Like, like because
I don't know,
obviously,
man.
like my next question, like I don't want to presume too much, but you're from Netherlands, and I know about Amsterdam. I've never actually been around, I would love to. The red light district, the famous, infamous, whatever you want to call it. But had some friends, including some women friends, they're like, this is so fucking fascinating. Like I had one a very good friend of mine, woman, like she was studying there for. Do you know the program Erasmus?
Yeah, that's in Rotterdam.
Yeah, yeah. So like so she would be studying for like so basically for anybody from America. It's a program that's all over Europe, I believe, and like for half a year, you can go and study someplace else in Europe for like just 6 months. So, Czech person can go to Rotterdam or Spain or whatever fuck, doesn't matter. And she went to Rotterdam for a half a year, and she told me, "Oh, we went to visit Amsterdam." So I was like curious about the red light district, so I went. I'm telling you, it was so fascinating when my boyfriend came around. I took him there like myself. It was so fascinating. And I'm like, ooh, interesting. So like, so I wondered, like, have you ever visited, like, just to see, obviously, just nothing, not implying anything else.
No
And
implications.
exactly.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, I think the red light district is a huge tourist trap. Like, we don't really think about it.
So the natives do not go there. What are you saying?
I mean, probably, but not something that. I mean, maybe people from Amsterdam would go there
Hmm.
themselves. Like, if
Hmm.
you live outside, you don't really think about it. I think we have a brothel here in the city as well, but I
Hmm.
also never been there. It's
Of
not
course.
something that interests me because, like, it's something you grow up knowing it's around,
Yes. Yeah.
and that makes it sort of normalized. Like
Yes.
if you're from a place where prostitution is very much illegal
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you're told that, hey, they're just standing in the windows there, yeah, you may feel some sort of pressure,
Hmm.
not pressure, but some sort of draw to go see, well, what is that like? So yeah, no, I've never been myself, but I do know that it's one of the few things that people almost always ask about,
Hmm.
which leads me to believe that it's a very touristy thing.
I guess so. Like again, like I've even though I've been to Amsterdam several times, like most of the time it was like just the airport because like it's a great
Yeah.
connecting airport, really. I also love how idiot proof it is. Like there is no way for anybody to get lost at Schiphol because like if you manage to get lost there, like you're like next level of special. There's big letters, like 100 every 100 meters you go. It's like, all right, this is gate B, gate C, this way. And I'm like, I like it. Very idiot proof. I like it. And like so like but yeah, I've never actually I was once there stuck for a night because my fiance now and our flights got cancelled. So they put us up in a hotel, very cheap hotel, next to the airport. And so that was fun, but we didn't go out exploring much because she wasn't in the mood because obviously everything was delayed. That wasn't fun.
It wasn't that she was trying to stop you from going to the red light district.
It wasn't even that though. Like I was like, let's go explore like Amsterdam because we were like not like close-ish where it's like oh there's there might be some city center like or some city to be seen, and we had time. And I was like like and then she was like nah I'm not even. I was like okay. So but yeah like I always heard about it and I always know like I heard of others who've been and they're like oh yeah this is a fascinating place. So I just wanted to take like your 2 cents on that because as you say, if you're used to it, it's not really that special to you, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, I'd struggle to think of something about the things that people think are special about the Netherlands that I think are special.
Hmm. But it's the same. It's the same thing with like if you're from Hawaii, for example, you don't think it's that special, and you don't go vacation at Hawaii because like this is your home, right? This
Sure.
is like people from Hawaii. I'm guessing if they when they go for a vacation, it's not like they book a fucking hotel on the opposite side of the island. They probably just fuck off someplace else because that's new. That's their vacation, right?
Yeah. But the weird thing though is like people go to Hawaii for like the climate and stuff like that, which is something that you can still enjoy when you live there. You can be very happy about your climate,
Correct.
which is like in terms of like prostitution or even like coffee shops, which are not for coffee. Um,
That's the other thing. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
those are the things that people actually genuinely come here for.
Oh, 100%.
which fascinates me. Like they're fascinated by the fact that those things exist here. I'm fascinated by the fact that it draws people in from outside.
I don't think they are fascinated that those things exist. They are just like, oh yeah, hey, do you want to smoke some weed or want to eat some wheat brownies or cookies?
Well, sure. I mean,
Come,
those are things you can do here, but
come,
I mean,
come right in. It's
like you
more like
suggested
open.
about your friends, like they
Yes,
went to the red light district just to see.
yes, yes. But I think most people, men,
And
I
sure.
don't think it's like more like it's out in the open. So like, oh, wanna smoke some pot? Come right in. Wanna have some fun times with a lady? Come right in. Like, like nobody's gonna slap your wrist. Nobody's gonna be like, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. No, they'll be like, oh, which do you prefer? Like, look at these windows. Look at these, like dealer's
Literally window
choice.
shopping. Yes.
Dealer's choice, man. So I think that's the part about what, makes it fascinating because many European states are kind of like, to my understanding, the prostitution, especially the prostitution part, is like kind of illegal, kind of legal at some states. Like so, and like Amsterdam, is so open about, oh, all legal, want weed? Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have the proper licenses,
Yes,
and
yes,
yeah, you're certified and you're
yeah.
operating within the bounds of the law that do exist. Because,
Hmm. Hmm.
well, while it is legal, it is regulated, which I think is the best thing to go about.
100% regulation. Yes, yes. It's not like, it's not like there's like one big brothel and like nobody cares. No, people do
No,
care.
yeah,
People do
I
care.
mean, probably if you were to like offer your own services, to put it that way, I don't necessarily think you'd get in a lot of trouble unless you
Mhm.
started to do it on like a larger scale, maybe. But yeah.
Okay, advice taken. I'm changing my plans as we speak. I had such a big plans, Chris, and like you're like, oh fuck, yeah, never mind.
Happy to save you from the inevitable court case.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. So I think with this we can move to the this or that, where I'll give you two choices and you'll tell me which one would you prefer and why. So, Chris,
Yes.
iOS or Android?
I've never used iOS, so I'll just go Android by default, I guess.
Wow, you've never had iPhone.
I've never had an iPhone. I've never had even a Macintosh computer, even though they existed
Damn.
when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily even that I'm sort of a loyal customer to Android or whatever. It's
Hmm.
I don't know. It's you know what it is? It's the Rick and Morty thing.
I'll tell. Okay, explain because I don't understand.
Like I probably would enjoy Rick and Morty. I have
Mhm.
never seen it because I think the fans
Mm.
are insufferable. And I kind of think the same about Apple users.
I will say, okay, fair. Okay. I will say, as if somebody who enjoys Rick and Morty, or at least enjoy I think the first four seasons are really excellent. And you can pretty much, it's one of those shows where you can literally put on any episode and like be happy and it's genuinely funny. But as you mentioned, rightly so, that's one of those things when you say, "Oh, I like Rick and Morty." Unfortunately, you need to kind of clarify quite a few things because there
Yes.
is a obnoxiousness about that fucking fan base, and that's why it's like, I like it, but I'm not one of those people. I'm not one
Yeah,
of those, those like, they went to McDonald's and screamed Szechuan so like that infamous video. I'm pretty sure you're
exactly.
aware, and I'm like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man.
And I know that like Apple gets a lot of flack for being
Yes.
expensive,
Yes.
but I don't actually think that there's an enormous amount of disparity between like the Apple iPhone or the newest Samsung phones. I think they're about equally expensive.
I think usually the app, like at least here, I don't know about Netherlands, but here, the latest, most spec'd up iPhone is definitely more expensive than like the latest spec'd up, by like £300.
Right.
Like so,
Yeah.
like
Could still be true here.
it's not as bad. But like like to your point, like if you're buying fucking £2,000, or $2,000, I don't know, phone, paying extra £200 or dollars will probably not kill you. You're right, but
Yeah,
like
so if I mean if you're spending that kind of money,
yeah,
it's worth like looking into what is actually the best product.
yes, yes.
So I'm sure that maybe iPhones are the best product. I wouldn't know, but it's just the fact that there are people who use iPhones
Hmm.
And this is the only reason I know that, like, if you send a text from an Android phone to an iPhone, it shows up in a different color, and they really don't like that.
Not anymore.
Oh, they changed that?
Yeah, there's been an update. There's been a how far behind are you when it comes to your Android update? Because there's been
Um,
like a I think in 15 or even 14 now that you can actually enable. Oh fuck, how's it called? There's like R something messages. Basically, the reason for that, iPhone developed its own like service for messages. It's like R something something something. Like it's a shortcut for something, right? And it was like their point of like, oh no, nobody can get it because this is our, data. And Android for a longest time was like, fuck you guys. And then finally they caved in. So now you can actually enable it on Android. So it effectively looks the same. And you
right.
can see even on, like, I have an Android. And if I message my girlfriend or fiance now, who's got iPhone because she's full in on iPhone, it will now show up on her phone as blue because I have it enabled, those
Oh,
messages.
okay.
So you can actually now enable it, and
Yeah.
nobody is any wiser.
Okay. So I don't know how to do that. I don't know if I care to do that. So
Fair.
yeah, I'm buying a little bit on my knowledge, but my phone is like 4 years old at this point. I'm not one of those people who gets the new
Hmm.
type.
Okay.
So I don't get a whole lot of as I said before, like I'm not brand loyal by any means, and I'm also
Hmm.
not like, oh, there's a new thing I need to upgrade. That's not me
Yeah.
either. So I
Yeah.
will use this thing until I can no longer read the text because of all the cracks on my screen.
See, that's the only thing I cannot do. Like I try to use my phone until I am not happy with the battery mostly, but I'm quite fine with.
That's another one, yeah. If my
Yeah.
battery will start running out like while I'm using it during my workday, then I'll be upgrading. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your daily driver, by the way? What are you using right now? Like brand?
This is a Samsung. I don't even. I think this is a 21, an S21.
Yeah, so that's still fairly new. That's still pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it is from 4 years ago. So whatever brand was new or whatever type was
Yeah.
new then.
Yeah. No, Samsungs are usually pretty good. I've been using OnePlus for like ages now, and really, once you get used to that quick charge, that 0 to 80 in like 15 minutes, not even, it's hard to go back. And their battery very good. Like I have mine, I bought it 2 years ago now, and it's still comfortable last a day, like
Hmm.
very comfortably. And I'm like, yes, very happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, probably when it comes time to get a new one, I will probably do the same thing I always do. I will just compare the different kinds of devices
Yes.
that are available. Like, there's nothing that tells me like, okay, you need the new Samsung because you had the old Samsung. That's not how I because like the Android operating system, I think is very much the same across Android
Yes.
phones. So you're
Oh.
not running into something like, oh, I have no idea how to operate this phone now because it's a different
Mhm.
brand.
No, of course, like every phone has its own flavors. So like
Sure,
yeah, yeah, but you're right, like the base is pretty much the same. It's just like, I think Samsung for my taste, again, that's personal preference. I think it has a bit too much bloatware. Like, the applications you cannot install that come
sure,
pre-installed.
yeah,
And one of the things I like about OnePlus, they used to be very bloatware free. Now they've merged with Oppo, which is another Chinese brand, and it kind of goes to the Color. I think it's called Color OS operating system. So there's some, but it's still not enough to like distract or basically say, I need to try something else. But yeah, but as you said, yeah, when it's time to upgrade, I'll always like look around and see, hey, this phone seems interesting. This phone seems interesting.
sure.
And yeah, but mostly I'm looking at Android really. Like iPhone is once you get accustomed to the customizations of it all, it's hard to go back to iPhones because yeah, it's like, how do you do this on iPhone? You cannot. Oh, okay, fuck. But yeah, TV shows or movies.
Well, movies. I don't really watch television unless it's like a thing that really hits all of my marks. Basically, I
Mm-hmm.
like you were talking about you had to make the choice like not to do the video game thing because you were too busy with TVs and movies. I went the opposite direction.
Fair.
Like movies are my short form and video games are my long form story entertainment. And yeah,
Okay. Okay. That nice and easy.
yeah, it started as me going, all right, you know what? All of these shows that I love that have terrible endings, I'll just I'll leave them there, and then when the endings are good, when I'm told the ending is good, then I'll watch the whole show.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you end up with like 6 seasons of a TV show that you haven't seen, and that seems like a lot. So now I just don't watch it.
One of the reasons I still haven't started Dexter, the original Dexter, because I heard great things about the first couple of seasons, and I've heard how awful, awful, awful that ending is, the original ending. Now they brought it back twice, I think. So I'm
Yeah,
like trying to rectify what they've done.
there's now 4 Dexter shows.
Well, one of them has just got axed. I think the prequel just got.
Yeah, the original sin or something
Yeah,
that it's called.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen none of the 3 like reboot shows.
Okay.
Dexter is particularly egregious. I stopped watching Dexter 2 episodes before the season finale because
That
I
would
could not
drive
take
me.
it anymore.
That would drive me up the fucking wall. Like if it's only two episodes left, I would just like, stick with it and just like, you know what?
That's usually me as well because my autistic brain is like, you need to finish this. This needs to be completed. But it was
Mhm.
so bad I could not do it.
Damn. Okay. And again, I kind of respect that even though I am autistic, but I'm a completionist. I
I'm
definitely
very much that as well, yeah. But I just couldn't do it. I
the
just I beat my own autistic brain into submission on Dexter.
and I salute I salute that. Like that's honestly admirable. Only show to this date I purposefully stopped like season 7, I think, was The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, right.
And see, here's the thing, right? I want to. That's something I feel like that also needs explained because like now it's kind of a on especially like Reddit and certain forums, it's like the punchline show. It's like, on the basic people and dumbasses love Big Bang Theory. It's so fucking mainstream. I don't want to be that hipster, but I genuinely started it when it was brand new. Like my mate at high school at the time, when there was a writer strike, that was one of the TV shows that was actually affected by the writer strike because it was on like 10 or 12 episodes out at the time. So I was
Hmm.
like, oh, this is a brand new thing. I was like, okay, and it's quite funny. I was like, okay, and I watched it. And I fucking loved it. I was like, oh, this is great. And like I still would go to bat for first 3 or 4 seasons of that show. I still think if I were to go back to first 3 or 4 seasons, I could laugh my ass off. But the moment when they started to be like, hey, let's make Big Bang Theory, but make it friends. Let's give them all some like some companions, and
Yeah.
let's forget about what make those quirky guys quirky, and let's just make them date. And I'm like, but this is not what the show is. Like, I understand there like should be some like character development and all that, but I'm like, this is not that what that show is. And like the point for me, my breaking point was, do you know, and this is a very specific example, but you love movies, so you might know what I mean. You know how when you're watching a movie and they have like a fake sitcom within the movie, and it's
Sure.
supposed to like usually it's there to like amplify how stupid this world is because they laughing at the obvious jokes and like everything is so obvious. I realized when I was watching like season 6 or 7 of Big Bang Theory, I'm like, I'm watching that.
You're watching a
I
fake sitcom in a movie.
I'm
Yeah.
watching a sitcom where I know, this person will now talk. There's gonna be a laugh. This person will react to it. Like I was writing it before it happened, and then that's what made me realize. And I'm not a smart person. I don't think I don't think I'm that fucking smart. And to me, that when I'm so out of the moment where like I cannot even enjoy it. I'm like, damn, I'm watching a, am I in a movie? You know what? Just in case, I'll stop this. So yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only show to this day I have not finished on purpose because like, and it tears me apart because I used to love that movie, love that show. Like,
I think I used to too when it first started.
hmm
Like when it was just on TV, like on
hmm
television that was just on in the background while I was having dinner or whatever. That would be something I did watch. I don't know. I never because it is a sitcom.
hmm
I don't factor in sitcoms in terms of like TV shows.
Okay, that's
Like
interesting.
in a weird sort of way because like if you miss like 5 episodes of a sitcom, doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. No, I see. I see. I cannot really skip episodes unless I've already seen it. Like unless I've
Right.
already like that's me again. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I should get diagnosed. Maybe that's a bit of autism. I don't know.
I
But like
mean,
I cannot do that
we may be
unless
discovering something about you today because you were talking about how you were starting to recognize who would be speaking and who would be reacting. That's some autism level pattern recognition.
I feel like that's just boredom. Like
Could be that as well.
and I
I'm not
usually
diagnosing you today.
no, it's all right. But I'm usually like that even with movies. So like this is how I know the movie is not good when I'm so out of it. I'm like for example, like continuity errors and all that shit. It doesn't really bother me. Like oh, this person had so much coffee left, and suddenly in the next scene there's so much more coffee or like a cigarette or whatever. I don't
Right.
usually notice that shit. I know it doesn't bother me. But if I do notice it, it usually means, damn, this movie is boring
Yeah,
because
it
I
means it's
get to
not working on you.
yeah, it's like, you notice such tiny details and nitpicks where suddenly, like, this is, when I start to nitpick movie, that's when I know, yeah, something is boring me. What is it? And I try to figure out what is it that's taking me out so I can be honest about how I feel about a movie. And that was the same with Big Bang Theory. But yeah, interesting. So yeah, I'm scheduling my appointment as we speak.
Please don't do that just on the
Nah,
basis of this
nah,
conversation.
nah,
And
just
if
try
you're listening and you're like, I recognize a lot of these things, please don't.
or do.
Or
But this
do,
podcast,
yeah.
but this podcast, neither of us is a medical prof. Well, you might. I don't actually know what you do, so you might be a medical professional
No,
for
I'm
all
not.
I know.
I've spoken to a great many medical professionals to get my diagnosis. I am not myself a medical
Okay.
professional.
So next question: tea or coffee?
Neither but if I
Right?
have to choose, it's coffee.
If you have to choose, why
Yeah.
do you despise both?
I don't know, man. Hmm. I'm not a warm drink sort of person, I think, in general.
They've innovated this great thing called iced coffees as well. It's fucking
Yeah,
good.
but that's bullshit.
How so? How
That's
so?
that's like anti-coffee.
No, it's not. It's fucking delicious. It's
I've
genuinely
never
delicious.
had it, so maybe I shouldn't judge it based on
Y-
that, but
You
that
know
does
what's
not make
great?
sense to me.
So there is a coffee. See, I'm a bit of a nerd into coffee. So, and because of that, I know if you have shite coffee, like shite coffee beans, having it iced actually decreases the sourness level.
Sure.
So even if you, like, for example, if you're like myself and actually grind your own beans because you want to have it nice and fresh and you have a nice grinder, but let's say you're not that into your beans and because for whatever reason they don't suit your palate, happens. Make it iced and or cold brew, and that decreases the mostly the like the sour level like significantly. So it's actually quite pleasant.
This sounds to me suspiciously like I don't like warm Red Bull. You need to keep it cold. Yeah, the cold hides the horror.
I mean, yes, and not heights. It
It
changes it.
masks
Yes,
it. Yeah.
yeah. But honestly, iced coffees are fucking good.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'll take your word for it. I don't think I'm drawn to trying it, but
No, no,
should
no.
I ever encounter it, just
I'm not your life
by
coach. Like you do
pure
you.
chance?
I'm not trying to be your life coach, so you do girl. But like, but
Yeah,
like, I'm just saying, like, if you ever out and about and like, oh, they don't serve anything I like, but they do have iced coffees, might as well try it.
sure. Yeah. I
Well,
mean, that's the one area where I don't necessarily fit into. Like, I mean, autism is a spectrum, right? So,
mhm.
but that's the one area. Like, I know a lot of autistic people just have a very strict aversion to trying stuff. I don't necessarily have that. So I
Okay.
might at some point give it a shot.
I'm genuinely learning so much new, like so many new information because I didn't actually know that. Which it makes sense that autistic people are not keen on trying new things, but see, it makes sense when you actually say it. But like, I don't think I would have realized it on my own. But now, like when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, kind of makes sense. It's like
I
me
mean, yeah.
reading. It's like me reading your letterbox reviews. Like many times I read like what do you have to say about this movie, and I'm like, motherfucker. Like I'm always like, he said exactly what I'm thinking, but he puts it in like in a beautiful sentence together. Where I'm like, I admire you, but I also kind of hate you for how like you write very nicely. I'm like, and then I compare it with my piss poor thing. I'm like, yeah, why does it not sound more like this? Like you have such a way of with words, and I'm like, ugh. Like it's frustrating, but also I really genuinely like admire you, like all respect.
I mean, okay. I don't know how to respond to that, so I won't.
It's fine. It's fine. Money or free time?
Free time.
That was very quick.
Yeah.
Right. Why?
Because I work to live, I don't live to work.
That's such a European attitude. That's such a and I like that, by the way, like because I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. Like many people, even here. Yeah, yeah. And I think this is the biggest difference what Europeans versus Americans, like that kind of mindset. We're
Yeah.
not, we're not. I don't think because still in Europe, it's not. You need to grind every single day, every single hour, and if you're not grinding, you're losing the opportunity to become better, become CEO of this Fortune 500 company in 10 years' time.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if it's the grind because obviously, like you get a lot of times. I've heard people say this on your show as well.
Hmm.
Like money can get you the free time, and it can also get you other things, which
Correct.
is true, especially if you live in a country where if you break your leg, you're just bankrupt.
There's that, yeah. There's
So if I was living in America, I maybe also would say money.
hmm hmm True, true. But also, like again, as I always mention, there's the like we tasks where if you have enough money, my ex-boss would have a ironing lady, so that she would come in every week or two and iron a bunch of stuff because neither him or his girlfriend would want to do that. So he had the
Sure,
money to pay somebody, and they didn't have to spend hour or two ironing their shirts. So,
sure.
and to
So
me,
what
that's like
actually what the question is, would you pay for convenience?
it's not even convenient. Well, the thing is, it's not even a convenience if it's like one of those like quote unquote basic tasks. Like, let's say
Sure.
like let's say any billionaire, millionaire, like Kim Kardashian, doesn't matter. Do you think she cleans her own house? Fuck no.
Of course not. No.
Exactly. But again, but she's making money other ways, so she doesn't have to. She has a bunch of people employed, well, hopefully employed, hopefully paying them well, and and like that frees up a lot of your time, not having to worry about food,
I mean,
cleaning. Yeah.
sure, but at the same time, like I can't even imagine someone who lives in a house like that who
Hmm.
would not go insane if they had to clean it themselves. Like this
Yes.
house, I can clean by myself. Like Kim
Yes.
Kardashian's house, no, thank you.
No, 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 no. Again, it usually comes in with a mate, probably, like, or a
Yeah,
few, because yeah, like, no, like if you have a mansion that's like 15 bedroom, which I don't know who needs that, but okay. Just I don't think anybody needs that unless you have like
probably not.
like
No.
20
Yeah.
kids. Which if you have 20 kids, then I have different questions. I'm like, why?
I mean, yeah, if you actually run an orphanage out of your mansion, then sure, yeah.
Yes, that yeah. Honesty or other people's feelings,
Um, I would normally say honesty,
but
but I mean, I don't want to turn this into like a full autism seminar. But you spend a whole lot of time in your young years learning how the world works.
mhm.
That you just can't say certain things, and the way that you learn that is by saying them.
Yes, the ability, like, and I think this is what we've kind of lost is the ability to fuck up. Like young
Sure,
people, like again, we're talking young people. We're not talking like 40-year-old person saying something bad. I'm saying, hey, this 15-year-old said this and this. And I'm like, well, yeah, because they are fucking
because
15.
they're 15. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad I was not online when I was like that age. Not that I said anything very bad, but I'm like, I was fucking dumbass. If I
yeah.
had like Twitch to my disposal when I was 15, no. I don't think anybody should have that, to be honest.
And to be honest, like if you're looking back on who you were as a 15-year-old and you don't think you were a dumbass, then you're in trouble.
100%. I've always said like, like I cringe at like me from 10 years ago, let
Oh,
alone 20.
absolutely.
Like, and I think if you don't like exactly what he said, I think if you don't, I don't think you're reflecting hard enough.
Yeah, because you're still that same person.
Yeah, and then that's sad.
Yeah.
That
So while it's important to be honest about certain things, I would always say, yeah, I have a hard time actually saying what I think most of the time.
hmm.
But
Why do you
that's
think that is?
um well that's something that's called masking,
Mm.
which a lot of autistic people do, which is
Hmm.
they look at how other people behave,
Ah.
and that is sort of like the mask that they start to wear themselves.
Hmm.
So
hmm
it depends on your influences, but it's very much if you live in a community where a lot of people hide what they really mean with pleasantries,
Mm-hmm.
then that is sort of like the thing that you're going to start to affect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true for every child, obviously. But if you're autistic, you're doing that actively, right?
Okay.
It's not something that's inherited or instilled in you. It's just something that you think you have to carry
Mm-hmm.
on top of who you actually are.
Okay. Is there a way how to not break that, but like, to get out of that in a way?
Sure, yeah. I mean, if you're very comfortable with people, you can
Mm-hmm.
often sort of like slowly take the mask off, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of people aren't necessarily very receptive to that.
Oh,
Like
okay.
there's a lot of things socially that people just expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes all the way down to if you meet someone
Mm-hmm.
and they ask you how you're doing.
Yep.
If you say anything other than fine, how are you,
Yeah, yeah.
then you've destroyed that entire conversation.
I do that on purpose just to fuck with people.
Yeah, but okay, but that's then you throw a little grenade in there, like this
Yes.
is a joke, have fun.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
if you're ever going to answer that question honestly, like I've been really struggling at work lately, I don't know, I'm gonna get through the next week, then they do not want to hear that.
Yeah, like nobody wants, yeah, no, because this is the thing, right? Because nobody really cares. This is such
Yeah,
a like, this is such a bullshit question anyway.
yeah. Even the simple act of them asking that question is because it is an expected thing.
Exactly, it's like a fake politeness. Like,
Yeah,
do you genuinely care? Or are you filling this void for like 2 seconds for you to say something? Like, and this is why I don't really care for these like general pleasantries. Like, be honest. Like, you don't really care. Even if I had the worst day or a best day, how does it influence you on a receiving end? That doesn't, especially when we work together, right? Like,
yeah,
if you're my mate or whatever, obviously, you come to your mate and like, hey, yeah, I had a rough couple of days. Oh, okay, what's happened? Let's talk about it. But your colleague, it's like, hey, how are you today? Fine. Oh, that's good.
yeah.
That's
Or like the cashier at the
oh
grocery
yeah.
store, you're not going to download your entire month. Like, well, let me tell you what's up. That's
But
not something you're going to do. But
girl,
yeah, it's this layer of politeness that's on top of everything else
yeah.
that is designed to, because obviously humans are social animals, so it's
Hmm.
designed to sort of like keep sort of like a veil of community, like everyone's doing okay, we're all fine together.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, nobody answers that question honestly, and nobody asks it actually meaning it.
Correct. When he said the cashier, I just had an idea for like a sketch. It's like, imagine, imagine you go someplace like, I don't know, Costco, like you do a massive shop, right? Everything is on the belt. And then like she starts to scan everything and she's like, hey, how's it going today? Actually, not fucking great. So let me tell you. So this happened. Like I wake up and my wife is dead, and now my kids are just and then like she starts to scan me quicker, 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 just to get rid of you. Like oh no, oh no, oh no, and just like like flash. Like
Wonder if someone's done that.
100.
That sounds like a classic. Yeah.
Look, 100%. Like I'm not that original. If I can think of it, there's like many more brilliant minds have already thought of it, and it's already on filmed someplace. Like 100%.
Yeah, man. There is no original content anymore.
Yes.
It's just your own spin on it. So you can still shoot that sketch if you want.
Correct, correct. Summer or winter?
Outside summer, inside winter.
So it's winter. Okay. What does that mean?
I mean, if I'm outside, I'd rather it be summer. If I'm inside, I'd rather it be winter.
Is it because you don't want to feel like you're wasting the nice days when it's like sunny and you should be out?
Um, maybe
Hmm.
maybe it's to do with like yeah, sunlight is like a very good source of energy.
Yes.
But it's mostly to do with like if there's bad weather and it's summer, it's just annoying. If there's bad weather and it's winter, you're just fucked.
No. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And obviously, like, you coming from Netherlands, I would imagine you have winters where it actually like snows and
We
it's
used
actually,
to.
oh, used to. Oh,
We
cool.
used to, yeah. Things got a little warmer in the last 20 years, so
I wonder why.
we don't really have that anymore.
I wonder if there's like some sort of phenomena that's happening or something. I don't know. Like, okay.
Yeah, probably. It's
Mm,
probably highly localized. It's not a global thing at all.
If only we knew. Like, but like,
Yeah.
I think the science is still out. Like, like I think it is just a lot of fucking things. Like, many
Yeah.
people know how to use Google. All right. And I'll
Can
tell
we get
you,
Al Gore on this maybe? Then that would be useful.
man bear pig. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say man bear pig?
Yes, I've seen South Park.
Yes.
We're cultured people.
No, I wasn't suggesting otherwise. I just knew. Only reason I'm asking is, you don't watch as many TV shows, so like I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's like a last 10 years sort of development for me. Like
Yeah.
when I was young, when I was in school, I definitely watched a lot of TV.
Well, and the creators actually admitted that's one of the biggest mistakes they've ever made, because like they were like, oh yeah, they're making fun of him, which it's quite obvious from the episode, and
Yeah,
then they now are on the record like, yeah.
shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, knowing what we know now, yeah, he was kind of ahead of his, yeah, but yeah, it is. Again, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Probably the most important question of all, ninjas or pirates?
What angle do I want to take this question from?
Any you wish. It's all in your hands.
I think there's more good pirate-based media.
Okay?
So I'll say pirates.
That is a sensible approach.
What ninja media exists other than
Like, I think there's like quite a few video games, right? Like, where it's like,
yeah, but they're not necessarily my thing. Like
yeah,
Ninja
fair.
Gaiden and stuff like that, I've never played.
Okay. Okay.
It'd be hard to give up like the Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah, the first
trilogy
three.
because
Yeah.
the other two don't exist.
I've only watched it once in a cinema, and maybe it was because my brain was still developing, and also Penelope Cruz being on the screen also might also have something to do with that. But
That might have something to do with it,
I
yeah.
have a soft spot for the fourth one, but I only watched it once. Maybe if I were to rewatch it
It's
now, I'd be
not
like,
the fourth one isn't a terrible movie.
yes,
It's just not as good as the first
correct,
three, which really hurts it.
100%.
Only being decent is not good enough for that franchise.
But the fifth one, I remember
Go.
very well, and I'm
Ugh.
like, ooh, what? Okay, let's not do that. No, but yeah, the first three, like, I think, like, genuine, right now, though, as enough time passed, classics. I
Really
think we
good,
are
yeah.
in like, but yeah, like, fuck me, in 2 years, the third one will turn 20.
Yeah, and you could put it in theaters and it would look better than most of the movies that come out now.
100 fucking percent. That's an example of like 250 million or 350 million movie that actually was like, oh yeah, now I see why that would
Yeah,
cost
that's
that
where the
much
money went.
fucking
Yeah,
money.
it's
Like,
all on screen.
yes. Whereas nowadays it's like, oh, we have 200 million a movie. Oh, okay. But most of it is, actor B, actor B, actor A, and
Yeah,
actor C, and we gave the rest to the poor VFX team that's been on strike in Hungary for last fucking month.
yeah, and they have 3 weeks to go complete this entire
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. That's why I really like, side note. That's why I really appreciated the James Gunn approach, where he like went on Twitter and was like, Superman is now finished, like a full year before it was released, and now the VFX artists like they have a full on year to actually do their thing.
Yeah,
And I'm like, no matter if the movie is good or not, which I've seen, I really liked. That's very admirable, and I think the CGI actually is pretty fucking good. Like, I think it's really good. Like,
yeah.
you might have a problem with the movie, like, and I know you're not that keen on that movie
I
or that
wasn't. I
high.
wasn't. I really liked what it was trying to say. I just wish that it was more about saying it that it actually was.
Interesting,
And
interesting way
yeah,
of to form it.
it does. It is a good looking movie. The only thing that really took me out of it was like that photon river or whatever it was. That looked
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah. I wasn't it on purpose. I don't know.
It
Wasn't it
might
kind
have
of?
been. I just didn't think it looked good.
I felt like there was like, oh, nobody knows how it would look like, so let's have some fun with it. To me, at least.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I have a James Gunn on a speed dial that tell me that. No, I just had a idea like, hey, nobody can verify how this actually looks like, so might as well have
sure.
some fun with it. And I was like, okay. And the last question: free will or destiny?
We have to go with free will, right?
Well, you don't have to, but do you have a free will enough to do that? Oof.
Just because you said that, I'm gonna veer into Destiny.
Yes. No, so free will for you.
I mean, the alternative is scary. That's really the only thing about it.
Is it? Is it? Hmm.
And I mean, there's plenty of research going
Mm,
into like brain chemistry
mm,
dictating behavior. So
mhm,
that could be a version of destiny, if you will. Like there are plenty of predictors. Like if
mhm,
you put situations in front of people that you can predict how they will respond to them based on their brain chemistry.
mhm,
So I mean, it's imperfect, but
mhm. I do like how you said, and this is why I like talking to different kinds of people. I think you're the first person to say the idea of destiny is scary because many find it comforting, I think. Not just the people I talk to, but I think that's one of the biggest reasons and biggest maybe upsides for any kind of religion. Because, that,
sure.
it's a comforting idea to be like, oh, I'll do my part and I'll once I die, I'll be rewarded. And I think you're the first person who said that the idea of destiny, of your life being predestined, is kind of like, not that appealing to you.
I mean, that just means that you're not actually making any decisions.
Correct.
That
Yes.
means that you're just basically
Puppet.
flowing through it, like
Yeah.
you're watching your own movie play out, basically.
Yes. Yes.
And you'd be stuck with all of your complex internal thoughts, but nothing that you can actually leverage on the world.
hmm hmm
That's scary to me. And
mm.
I do understand how it can be comforting for people to know that like whatever happens, it's happening as it
For a
should
reason.
happen. Everything
Yes.
happens for a reason. Everything is happening as it everything is as it should be.
Yes. Yes.
That can be very comforting.
hmm hmm
I just don't subscribe to like the thought process I would need to get there.
I get it. I again like very logical, and I think to an extent a very European answer. I like it.
Probably, yeah.
I know, I like it. And before we move to the flex part of this podcast, do you have any controversial opinions or hot takes you would like to share with us?
Okay.
Mhm,
My hot take is that between 90 or 95% of the complaints people have about basically anything
mhm.
is because they do not understand or just don't realize that they are no longer the customers of any corporation that exists.
Okay, like I that just flew right past me. I'll admit, like what?
So this is
Tell me.
then I started thinking about this when I started seeing a lot of people complain that we used to have television.
hmm
We used to have shows that had 26 episodes that
hmm
aired every year.
Yep,
And
yep.
why can't Netflix just do that? Because you are not the customer.
And also because that was the literal brand how they became that big. That was like, oh yeah, we can do TV differently.
Yeah. And
Mm,
then people want 26 episodes of every show, and they want that show to be on every year instead of every 2 years, and then get 8 episodes in one drop. But that's not how business works. And you may be paying your subscription, but Netflix doesn't care about you. Netflix
yes,
cares about its investors.
yes, yes.
And
Oh,
that is everywhere.
so
That
I
is
see.
every single corporation. You do not matter because you will buy your things anyway.
I see. So you basically what you're saying is that the corporations are no longer beholden to the customer, the end consumer. They are beholden to their board of investors, and they are just looking for a profit.
Yeah, because the investment money that makes those companies work is orders of magnitude beyond their revenue from purchases, people buying
Mhm.
products or subscriptions.
I don't think that's a hot take, but yeah, okay, okay, let's go there. No, yeah, look,
I mean, I could be entirely wrong that it is a hot take. Yeah,
okay, no, 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 look, no, 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 look, I don't think you're wrong, but because that's the thing, I think like anybody who kind of thinks about things for a few seconds, yeah, because and you're 100% right, like yeah, like we touched upon it like in a gaming discussion or VFX discussion, yes. The end consumer, oh yeah, we'll get some flag for CGI being shit or the game being buggy at the start, but it's fine. But we're already working on patches, guys. Okay. Oh yeah, like yeah, the CGI is shit, but like hopefully the rest of the story is fine for this movie. It's fine. No, yeah, because yeah, again, they have a date, they have a deadline.
yeah.
We've already committed. People expect this movie. of this big franchise to drop on this date. We already have sold tickets, we already sold merch, we already have the main stars scheduled for the interview here, 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 here. We cannot reschedule all of it, guys. Don't do that.
Yeah, and the deadline cannot be moved because it needs to be part of their financial reporting for a certain quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And they've promised their investors a certain amount of profit margin for that quarter, so they can't move their big, huge new movie or video game
Mm-hmm.
because it will cut into their return on investment.
Yes.
And if a movie flops, well,
Oh
that
well.
doesn't matter because they've already gotten the investment.
Mm-hmm.
So their movie flopping doesn't matter as long as they can convince their investors that next quarter will be better.
And also, but they can, if it flops in the cinemas, like people are like, oh, streaming changed the games. Well, yeah, like it changed the game, sure. But also, like, I wonder how many of these big movies that flop in a cinema, they are on demand in 20 days, sometimes even, right?
Yeah,
And I wonder how many like extra because like for like I would never fucking buy a movie for £20 or dollars or whatever fuck. But I'm one person, well, one and my fiance. But for family of four or five, that saves them like 60, $80, especially if you live in America. That's a
yeah,
great deal. So like, for that family, oh yeah, hey, this new movie is already on this streaming service for only 20 bucks. Yeah, let's buy it. It's fine. So like, I like, people often say, "Oh, streaming changed the game." Yes. And we can argue, there's an argument to be made for a worse. Like, if you say it's a Netflix movie, most of the time it means something that means a bad thing,
yeah. But
right?
that sort of keys into uh like movie talk later on. We might get into why that is.
Ooh.
But that is, yeah. I mean, that part of that is because every major studio now has their own streaming service, so they can
Oh,
charge you subscription fees for their movies that Netflix it won't be getting anymore.
don't even get
So,
me started there. Yeah, fuck me. Like I've been a strong proponent of no, we do not need another streaming service. Like
well, we
get
don't, but you're gonna keep getting
yes.
them.
No, like this is why always knew I wanted to be a collector of physical media, and this is what really like skyrocketed that for me because like nah, at some point I'm gonna start canceling this subscription services because like if I'm paying for five and there's a movie that I cannot find on any single one, there's a
That's a
problem.
problem. Yeah,
And I'm not looking for a fucking super duper like let's say movie from 1972 from Pakistan. I'm not looking for like that fucking rare movies. Like I would love to, but I'm not like I'm talking about the Hollywood movies. I'm talking about hey, this pretty Oscar-winning movie from '83 or whatever fuck. That's oh no, fuck you. No, not available. And I'm like,
yeah, because it's like wrapped up in some sort of like rights issue, like
yes,
who actually has the distribution rights for
yes,
that movie.
yes, yes. And they would rather keep it in a vault than to release
Yeah,
it. Like
because
Disney
if
is
they put it on a service that they do not themselves see any profits from, then why would they let that money sit there on the shelf?
or even like Disney, the amount of fucking stuff they have in their vaults that is
That's
still
not
is
on
not.
Disney Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even available on Disney Plus, and it may be available on DVD, not even Blu-ray. And I'm like, I know there is a strategy for it. They operate within for next 10 fucking 20 years, whatever. But I'm like, this is like you shouldn't be holding back like art as some sort of hostage for, hey, if our profits deep they are gonna be low. Okay, we just have this ace in our sleeve, this and this and this, and profit. That's it. I feel like this is gonna be a not good thing for long run.
Yeah. It's gonna go on like this until there's like a bubble that collapses like the old cable model that just got more and more channels that you needed to pay more and more money for to get them all.
Like
It's
we
just
almost
repeating itself.
Yeah, like we almost were there, like with the Disney, like for example, it's not like streaming, but like the Disney live animated remakes, right? The Snow
Yeah.
White debacle, it seemed like it finally, like, oh, message delivered, we're not gonna do that anymore. And then Lilo and Stitch makes all the money in the world, and so it's like, ah, just kidding.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the quality of those movies doesn't matter as long as they can keep pointing to
Yes.
their catalog and keep telling investors, hey, we're going to keep remaking these classic movies that everybody loves. So you know that's going to be a hit.
But of course, there's another reason for that. for them to keep the rights to those stories because most of those are public domain unless they do something with them. Like this is an open secret about why Disney's been doing it ever since like 2010. Because many of these stories, they only have the specific copyright for this specific story, let's say until 2020, unless they remake it themselves and they can then insure it for another 75 years.
Sure.
So, like, there is another component to that where it's like, oh no, we will hold on to Snow White. Oh, we will hold on to Cinderella. Because, like, oh, you want to make a Cinderella story, even though that's a public property. Oh no, fuck you. No, this is Disney property.
Well, I mean, yeah, for those specific iterations of them, yeah, but nobody is stopping you from making your own Cinderella movie because that
Well,
that is public domain.
with
The
an extent, though. If you want to make a Cinderella movie, it better not, like, I'm sure there's a checklist, from Disney. Like, it
you
better
have
not
to make it
mention
separate
this,
enough
this,
from the
this.
Disney version to, yeah, to not get sued out into oblivion, basically. But
Yes,
yeah, you
yes.
can make your own Cinderella movie that is an adaptation of the original fairy tale.
100%, like, like, and we do have those, but like, that's why they are mostly like such a wild things. Like,
Yeah,
there's a great horror called The Ugly Stepsister that's
yep,
clearly Cinderella, like, from the stepsister point of view, which I really enjoyed. But the problem is, body horror from set in like 1600s is not gonna be everybody's cup of tea.
sure, yeah, and but it does leave Disney like, how do we sue this?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, we can't. Okay, well, it's not close enough. We can't actually sue them. Yeah,
They mentioned stepsister,
I wonder
guys.
how stringent they are about like their version of these old fairy tales that are public domain. Though I wonder how
House of Mouse? Ooh.
they do have Disney lawyers. Yeah, that
Mhm.
is yeah.
Only Scarlett Johansson can take them on and win. And sorry, can take them on and win. She actually won her case, and I loved how just a day or two later, Emma Stone has renewed her Disney contract. So like to kind of shut her up, and just in case, like not to set any precedent.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, how interesting how that works. Interesting, like how that works. Okay, okay. Okay. House
it
of
might also
Mouse.
be because like that was the first case of its kind, though, because
Yeah.
it had to do with that like premium
Yes.
on Disney Plus. Yeah, and how much that weighed up against ticket sales for the cinema. Yeah, that was the
Yes.
first time a case like that had actually been in court. So
Correct.
they've probably learned a lot about that.
And hence why they've changed, like, Emma Stone, because
Yeah,
of like I think we are still getting the Cruella 2 at some point when
I
she's
hope
still
so.
when
That's
she's
one of the few that I thought was actually very fun. That
yeah, me too.
it wasn't a remake. It was sort of like it was more of a Maleficent
Like a
kind of
spin-off
movie.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, like I actually enjoyed it too for what it was. Like I thought it was actually good movie, and obviously Emma Stone is a talented actress, so like
yeah.
that helps. If he has somebody who actually gives a fuck about that role, you know, also helps. Any other hot takes you would like to share with us, or do you want to move to the flex part of the podcast?
Yeah, we can move on to movies. I mean, we got stuck in like the movie examples, but
I
yeah,
know.
the thing I said goes for basically everything.
And again, like the problem is, I cannot really even argue or say, "Oh, you might be wrong because of A, B, and C." Because I'm like, yeah, that totally tracks. Like basically, we agree, and then I think that makes a boring discussion of like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, I know I'm right. Oh yeah, you're right."
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is more of like the sort of like the public perception of like people complaining about it. Well, why don't they just do it like they used to? Well, that's because you're no longer the customer.
And also, I will just say for specifically your example with the TV shows with like 26 episodes, right? Guys, watch some of them without your nostalgia goggles. The amount of clip shows, the
Yeah.
amount of remember when we used to do this, and there's a clip because again, when you forced to write 26 episodes like a year, you'll eventually run out of ideas. See any like Simpsons, see any like Golden Girl, like it was,
Well, that
like
is also the thing, right? 26 episode seasons still exist. They're still
yes,
being aired on television. They're just not watching those. They wish
correct,
the good shows they're watching on streaming were like those,
correct.
which would make them bad.
So I think there must be, but for a net against the Netflix model, and I fucking what I hate about that specific thing, the amount of years between seasons. Just like, this is one thing I really wish it would be back. Let's not wait, next Wednesday for 3 years. Or let's not wait for what was the
Okay,
show?
well, that's part of the same problem
Yes,
because
yes.
if you're airing your season as it's being produced,
Mm-hmm,
you can already start to see what the ratings are doing. Is
mm-hmm,
interest growing or slowing down over time? You can renew your show as it's still airing, and then
mm-hmm,
when the season ends, that crew knows to keep working to push to season two. If you dump your show of 8 episodes in all into one week, you need to wait 2 months to see
mm-hmm,
if word of mouth has translated into that being a hit and staying a hit.
mm-hmm,
Then you need to renew your show, which you've already broken down after they stopped filming the first season. You need to start the whole circus all over again. You need to start writing scripts, building sets. And that's where that delay comes from, is that they don't know when they finish season one that there will be a season two.
yeah.
If they would renew, if they would give a blanket a new show, give it 2 seasons, just
Mm-hmm,
so they could keep producing, that's how you get shorter
mm-hmm,
time between seasons. But they don't do that because they don't know if season one will do anything.
mm-hmm. Which I like. I kind of hate. It seems like Netflix has moved away from it, but I don't know. But from what I remember or from what I understand, it used to be if you pitched a show to Netflix and actually got a green light, you would have a free range for 3 seasons. So like you didn't have to worry about what are you saying. Like you would have as long as you had season one, season two, season three, all good. And but again if it's all good and then you have 2, 3 years between each season, Stranger Things,
I
like
think they did it that way because they were like when they were just starting to make original content, they needed a lot of it very
yes,
fast.
yes, yes. No, no, again, I do understand that point, but at the same time, like something like Stranger Things, when the season 4 premiered, it was one of the biggest things ever. Like that fucking
Yeah.
month, you couldn't. I was afraid to open my fridge for something about Stranger Things to pop out. And that was like such a high mountain. And suddenly, and now season 4, five, sorry, 5, the final season is premiering this year, and many people are still excited. But that excitement is like, oh, they are fucking adults now. These kids we actually seen as kids, and like they have mortgages now. What the fuck? Like this is like weird to be like, oh yeah, kids, let's have another adventure like D&D. We are still 12.
Yeah, but then again, I've seen the episode list. Like I haven't seen the show, but I
Mhm.
saw the episode list for this new season. It's basically 10 movies.
I know what you're talking about. I don't think that's been the lengths of those episodes. I don't think they've been
Okay,
confirmed. Like I know,
right,
like I think we know the titles right now, but I think there was some sort of fake where people were just having too much fun. And we're like, what if we make them all Lord of the Rings, runtime? And I
right.
don't think that's
Okay,
been officially confirmed, but
okay.
knowing Stranger Things and how long the fourth season was and like some episodes. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me because I think that's what
It
they.
would be the show to try it though. If you were going to select a show where you want
Mhm.
every episode to be a movie, I would pick Stranger Things probably.
But I would also say it almost seems like overcompensating for, hey guys, we've been gone for almost 4 years now. Please forgive us.
Yeah,
Here is for first three because now they are splitting into 3 parts, not even two anymore. Fucking 3 parts. Oh, here's the first 3 episodes, but hey, they are 4 hours long. Enjoy 12 hours. And I'm like, that seems like compensating of that rather than, oh yeah, the story needs,
yeah,
first four
maybe.
episodes to be 12 hours. Does it? I hope so. Like, I really hope they have so much story to tell. Cool. But like,
Yeah.
eh. But do you, anything else you want to add or?
No, I think because we're in such agreement on this, like
Yeah.
I'm doubting how hot that take in particular was. Maybe I'll start to get angry comments on my letterbox thing from people like what you said about corporations that went too far, sir.
I
Then
love
I'll
my
know that it was
corporations. Okay, I love
yeah.
it. How
Then I'll
dare
know it
you?
was a hot take.
How dare you? I love my capitalism, okay? I love being cog in a wheel. My dad used to be a cog in a wheel and I follow in his footsteps, okay? How dare you? Crush my
Wow,
dreams.
what a nepo baby.
I know, fucking no babies. Anyway, so let's move to the Flick Spiders podcast, where I'll ask you, Chris, what is the last new movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything 2020s.
So this is not the most recent movie that came out, but the one that I saw most recently that I gave five
Yes, from
stars.
that, yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So for the 2020s, the most recent one was Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Oh,
Is I gave that
nice.
five stars. And that was just an incredibly comfortable movie to me. Like I've been on a quest just for myself to find a romantic-ish comedy that does not fall into every single rom-com trope there is. And
Okay.
I was so happy with Cha Cha Real Smooth that it managed to basically sidestep all of them and still be a very good movie. So that's why it
Mm.
got five stars from me.
That's a movie I haven't seen yet, but I hear many people reference not as that, like not as a great like yeah, like a great movie, yes, but also one of those where like, hey, if you only know Dakota Johnson from Fifty Shades or Madam Web or like all those big bluster, big
Yeah.
horrible movies that flopped, and you think she's an actually bad actress, like watch this is often one of the examples people give, like
Yeah, it's this and Peanut Butter Falcon, I think,
yes, and Peanut
which I
Butter
haven't
Falcon
seen
is,
yet.
oh, that's a fucking amazing movie. That's such a comfort movie. It's like I've seen it only once, and I was like, this is such a lovely, small, low stakes, but it feels familiar, but not too
Mm.
familiar kind of movie. Where I thought look, is she Oscar winning in that movie? No, but I think she actually does really well. Same as Shia, for all his problems. Like he's a fucking talented actor. Hence why I'm
Yeah.
always mad when he gets into trouble. Like you could be like fucking two-time Oscar winner already. Like that dude has the talent, but like he gets into all the fucking troubles, and like, dude, just stop. Just like But no,
I
Judge.
will be watching Peanut
Yeah.
Butter Falcon relatively soon here, I think.
Oh,
But yeah.
I cannot wait to hear what you think because like that's to me like that's such a great movie. And again, like Cha Cha Real Smooth, it's been on my watch list for a while. Dakota Johnson, but also like more and more people are saying, "Hey, this has kind of been missed, and it's a great movie."
Mm. She
So,
is also really good in that. Yeah. So
mhm,
I would say that it is not having seen Peanut Butter Falcon,
mhm,
it's probably yeah, it's probably accurate that those two are used to say that hey, Dakota Johnson can actually act,
mhm.
which is I know because Materialists came out earlier this year, a movie I
Yes,
also really liked, but that still didn't really trigger like the Dakota Johnson for me. I still was kind of like I'm not sure what's going
really.
on here. Yeah, which is weird because I like Dakota Johnson as a person. Like if I've seen her in
Mhm.
interviews, I really like her vibe. I just do not gel with her as an actor in a lot of stuff.
You know what's funny? Okay, I'll say two things about this. So first of all, Materialist to me is such a strange movie. Not because I also like the movie as much as you. I think we're on the same page. But the people both follow like a lot of sitcom folks. If you read their comments, it's so funny because some people are like, all three were great. Some people are like, yeah, but obviously Chris Evans was fucking not that great. Some were like, well, obviously everybody was great except for Dakota Johnson. And then some people are like, obviously everybody's great, but Pedro Pascal was kind of weak. And I'm like, this is such a weird fucking thing. Like, like I never seen, like, like four people be like, oh, was all of them were great. Three people, Chris Evans was kind of mid. Four people, Dakota Johnson was kind of, and like Pedro Pascal was kind of the miscast. I was like, I don't think I ever watched, like, ever seen a movie where people I
Yeah,
follow, like, and I know, they were so all over the place on who is good or who's bad in that movie, and I'm like, okay, this is such a unique thing. I genuinely don't think I remember ever noticing in any other movie.
and I'm in a very weird place where I don't think
Hmm.
any of them were very good, but I still
Okay.
think the movie is very good.
Like I think th- what the movie does is such a like almost like naturalistic acting, like in a way where it's like such a real
Sure.
life movie where it's
Yeah,
almost like
it's
you think they don't act. Like it's a many like I feel like this is the same level as, and it's a weird comparison, but bear with me. Why comedies are not as appreciated at Oscars. Because people think, oh, he's just acting like an idiot, so duh, this is easy.
yeah, yeah.
But actually, like if you ask Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, like the legends, they'll be the first to tell you drama is fairly like much easier than comedy.
Yeah.
Making people cry is not that hard. Making people genuinely belly laugh, it's fucking miracle.
Mm.
And I think the Materialist has the same issue, like in a way where it just feels so natural. People are like, this is just Chris Evans. Oh, this is just Dakota. This is probably how they act. Oh, okay. It's just like, no, nothing special. And I feel like there's a powerful, like, all of them have kind of powerful, like, quiet performances.
Sure.
Like, I honestly think I need to rewatch it, like, gather my thoughts properly. But I remember being in a cinema and thinking, this is like all of them are kind of low key, but also like I think in a way where I really gel with all three of them because I feel like I've met versions of this person, of this person, of this person, right?
Hmm.
And I've never been
Sure.
to New York, and I've never been part of any like a matching agency. But yeah, and to your comment about Dakota Johnson, I know many people hate her because like she is like, oh, she's so fucking pricky in her interviews. Like I genuinely like complain, like I read a lot under her interviews, and I'm like, she has a unique sense of humor,
She is
and I
so funny. Yeah. That's the
exactly
main thing
she
about it. I
is
think she's
funny.
so funny.
I genuinely think that also, but like I think as a person who has also unique sense of humor, I know the first hand. Yeah, sometimes you make a joke and it doesn't land. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes the audience is like, was that a joke? Ah, funny. And then
Yeah,
like,
that's the hard part is
yes,
when your sense of humor is such that people don't even can tell you're joking.
yes, yes. And she obviously like, has no fucks to give, and she is herself. And I
Yeah.
think many people don't appreciate that for whatever reason. And also maybe because she's a woman. I don't know. Are they treated
Listen,
differently?
that's should always be considered. Unfortunately, with women, there will always be a certain section of the people that don't like her will just be because she's a woman. That's just the
Yep.
unfortunate way of things.
Yeah. But no, like, so just to, touch on that, like, I also appreciate her interviews. I appreciate her, like, personality. Like, she seems like kind of a chill person to hang out with.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe she might be the most horrible person ever off the camera. I don't know. Like, the point is, nobody knows besides the people who know them. We
yeah,
don't, we can project anything we want onto them.
yeah. I mean, the thing about that is more like if you were going to put on a performance for your interviews, why would you put on that performance? Like, if that's not who she really is, why does she choose to be like that on camera?
Maybe to totally confuse you, so you'll be
Yeah,
so
maybe.
surprised, to
Which
learn.
at which point I would have to admit that she's a very good actor.
Exactly, right? But no, like it'll be interesting to like I always think about that, like, oh, this person seems such a great person on camera, on this interview,
Yeah,
oh, very easy to like. And I always wonder, I wonder what happens when cameras go off, right? I genuinely always like, like what happens there? And like, are they genuinely as nice?
probably not.
Some might not. I don't know. Never know. Anyway, I that movie is on my watch list, so like I'm getting
You
there.
should watch it. It's very good.
Oh, I cannot wait. So, what is the last quote unquote teen movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So, anything between 2003 and 2019.
This is weird because I went through my letterbox diary by my 5-star rankings to like scroll
Mhm.
down
Yeah.
like the first movie that fit this, and it was 3 years ago.
Wow. And
And
you're
I
not
think
one of those people who's like sparing with you or like not sparing, but
no,
like,
I give plenty of 5-star
yeah,
ratings,
yeah,
I feel like, but maybe it's because that's like I missed like the smaller movies
yeah.
in the 2020s, so I'm going back and catching up on a lot of them, but maybe like the 2010s and stuff were movies where I was paying attention, where I was seeing them as they came out, so I'm not catching up on a lot of them. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the most recent movie from that period that I gave 5 stars to is Inside Llewyn Davis from the Coen brothers.
That's a great choice.
It's a really good movie. And I don't know why I didn't see that because I know I've been following the Coen brothers for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But it probably was too small of a movie to really be in theaters here, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
then I just never get caught around to it, or it was only a small run.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also because it's 3 years ago, I don't have it very clearly in my memory anymore. But I do
Yeah.
remember it being, yeah, being a very quiet sort of look at what it takes to be the kind of person that can be
Mm-hmm.
a musician working, paycheck to paycheck, having to accept the fact that you don't have your own place to stay, that you need to
Mm-hmm.
rely on other people's help to get you through the day, and what it takes to be the person who would make that decision every day to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I exactly the same. I also love that movie as you. I've seen it, I think about 5, 6 years ago, so I think I'm definitely more removed than you are.
Hmm.
But I still remember finding fascinating how there is a kind of a twist to that movie where like not to give away too much, but
Yeah, a little
it
bit.
might be not the most linear of movies.
Hmm.
And that definitely caught me off guard. I was like, oh, so I know I need to rewatch it, knowing that. Because
Yeah,
I like and I know this is a I for people who love Coens, I think this is a very polarizing movie because there's like I know there's like a hardcore group of people who love this movie and hardcore group of people who don't really appreciate this movie
hmm.
because it is like quite unique. It's a Coen movie, Coen Brothers movie, but it's quite unique. Like it's not like if he told me this was written and directed by somebody totally else, the same movie, I would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense
Yeah,
because it doesn't feel out of all the movies of theirs I've seen yet. I still haven't seen like a few. That definitely feels like the least amount of Coen Brothers.
sure. Yeah, but, I mean, the Coen Brothers, their filmography is kind of varied as it is, though.
No, I'm not saying it's not varied. I'm just like, they are also known. If I were to like simplify them, and obviously a lot of it got, if you simplify anything, it get a lot of details get
Yeah,
lost. But like like sharp dialogue, like
yeah.
witty
Okay,
witty dialogue, like
yeah,
funny, but also like kind of twisted, kind of dark. And this one is this movie is more like, oh yeah, musician, his cat, you know, trying to have places to stay. There's a Carey Mulligan here, cool. Oh, sudden Justin Timberlake is there, cool. And it's just like it's almost like this like odyssey of one person.
yeah, yeah. In that sense, it is very different. Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, like, okay, Coen Brothers
Hmm.
is anywhere between the Lady Killers and No Country for Old Men,
Yes,
and
yes,
that's like 3 years in between them. So they can do
that's
basically
wild.
anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I,
yeah, you're right in that there's usually at least a little bit of like a patter in the dialogue to it,
mhm.
a little bit of a twisted darkness to it. Because even in the Lady Killers,
Yes.
that's a dark movie.
Hmm. Hmm. And of course, No Country for Old Men. It's not a funny movie, but that's a dark movie too.
Yeah, and it's well, I mean, it's not a funny movie. There are funny things about it.
Hmm. That's one I
Yeah.
need to desperately rewatch because I only watched it once when I was too young to watch this kind of movie, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
it's fine. And I was like, my 15-year-old self or 16-year-old was like, that's fine. Like I don't understand the hype, and
Yeah, I'd
I haven't
rewatch
seen
it.
it
If the
since.
last time you saw it, you were like 15, 16, I'd watch it again.
No, yeah, 100%. That's one of those big movies that's on my list. I was like, I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it. But like, I still haven't seen like Barton Fink of theirs, like never. So like, I want to get to that first, to actually
Right.
like fill those gaps because I
I haven't
think I've
seen that
seen,
either.
see, and I think I've seen, but pretty much I'm all up to date with them. Like, I think there's like one or two movies I haven't seen of theirs, but I'm pretty much done with them. Well, no, not done, but up to date. But yeah.
I'm so done with the
I'm
Coen
so
brothers.
fucking well. They seem to be done with themselves. I still don't understand if they had a fight or they're like, you know what, we made so many movies together,
Yeah, I don't
we can
know.
do our own thing, like And as a person who really enjoyed Drive-Away Dolls much more than most people, I kind of like it. I still haven't seen Honey Don't, but apparently that's kind of
It's supposed to be like in the same vein, like he's doing a trilogy of similar movies or
yeah,
something.
lesbians, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a thing you do when you're one of the Coen brothers. You make a trilogy about lesbians, apparently.
I, uh, I'm not gonna complain.
Didn't I read somewhere that like his wife is a lesbian?
I think it must be a joke.
I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know. Like I've read the same thing,
don't
but
believe
I'm
anything
like,
you read on the internet. But
it,
that was weird enough for me. And I was like, wait,
yeah, as the famous quote by Abraham Lincoln goes, don't believe anything
don't
you
believe
read on the
anything.
internet, okay? But yeah, it's like again, I don't know, but yeah, I read the same thing. I'm like, that seems like a very interesting. His wife is a lesbian. I'm like,
Yeah, that's probably something that like someone thought we have a headline here, and
yes.
then the actual thing that was said is a lot more complex than that.
Wait, hey, why is he's been making so many lesbian movies? Oh, his wife must be lesbian. Okay, print it. Okay, we get clicks. Yeah, we can get so many clicks on this. Great.
That probably happens.
Journalism 2025.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is the last quote unquote adult movie you rated 5 out of 5? So anything between 2002 and 1975.
Between those years, it would be My Dinner with Andre.
Oh, I still haven't seen that. But I'm hearing a lot of great things. So tell me why.
Um, because essentially, I mean, it's an entire movie that's a conversation, right?
Hmm.
And it's a conversation
I love those.
between a theater writer, like a playwright, and or it's two playwrights. I think it's two playwrights, yeah.
Hmm.
And one of them is um, is continuously looking for new experiences, and all of his stories are about the wildest things he gets up to in like various retreats that he goes to, and sort of like secluded communities that have their own like religious rituals that he partakes in. And the other one is very much a homebody, and he's
Hmm.
always constantly talking about how concerned he is about just making a living and
Hmm.
just spending time with his wife and sitting and reading. And they're basically talking past each other the entire movie. Like one of them is downloading his experiences that he has across the world, and the other is just sort of listening to it and then turns it around on him. But essentially, what the movie is about is there value in just the pursuit of experiences, or do you need those experiences themselves to be rewarding? Yes or no?
Mm.
And
Interesting. Okay.
if you don't have that urge to seek out experiences, can you be content with what
Hmm.
you already have?
Hmm.
And those two ideas running basically sidelong past each other in one conversation
Hmm.
really worked a lot on me as someone who's very much a homebody and does not leave the house and is
Okay.
very content in my life
Hmm.
to sort of consider for myself, what are you actually missing out in the
Yeah.
world? Is there
Yeah.
anything you're missing out in the world by being content at home?
Hmm.
And I mean, that's a very idiosyncratic thing, obviously, but what are movies if not for a little bit of self-reflection in where you are in your life?
Yes.
So that was an easy 5 stars for me. Any movie that really makes me think about how I live my life, and is there
Hmm.
anything that I should do different? And if I do them differently, will that give me any sort of additional value?
Hmm.
If the movie can make me think that, then it's 5 stars for me.
You surprised me that you would give this movie a five, two guys talking in one room. That really surprises me, especially, with one of your favorite movies being Sunset Limited. I am shocked.
It's exactly the same. It's two guys talking in a room.
And I'm so happy, by the way, listening to you on also see, that movie getting a bit more eyes to on it. Like I've seen it once, and I remember fucking loving it. And I'm like, oh, how did nobody else seen it? Oh, it's an HBO movie. Okay, never mind. That's why. I was
Yeah,
like, this is such a
HBO TV
shame.
movies, man. There's some gems in there.
There,
Yeah,
yes.
spend some time on the HBO Max app, just scrolling deeper down, see what you find.
I've just watched. See, I'm pretty sure it's also like an original. I think it's called Game Change. It's about Sarah Palin.
I saw that. Yeah, I mean, I
And
saw it come by. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to see that.
And I'll say this, like it doesn't have the best of reviews. And does it simplify certain things? Sure. Does it also, living in the Donald era, is it fucking so poignant right now? The way
Yeah,
they had no fucking idea that it was gonna be so poignant that what that movie is talking about. Holy fuck. Like
and
this
that's why I
movie.
wanted to see it. I wanted to see it with like 2025 eyes, like knowing what happened after.
Hmm. Honestly, this movie feels like somebody was like, "Hey, this is about Sarah Palin, but what if there was another politician who run like this, but actually won?"
Yeah,
And then like, holy fuck! And the things they are talking about and how he doesn't want to go lower in a debate because he doesn't want to lower himself, and it kind of works if you do go low. And I'm like, ooh, they were way ahead. Okay. And like
yeah,
how internet has changed everything for voters.
yeah. And all
I'm
they
like,
had to do was find someone who didn't have the integrity of John McCain to actually run with
yep,
that attitude.
yep. That integrity, like as the South Park say, like integrity. Yeah,
Integrity.
integrity farms. Okay. But yeah, no, no, that's a yeah. Like to your point, yeah, yeah. HBO Max, if you have it, there are some gems there, 100%.
Yes.
So, what is the last quote unquote old movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So, anything 1974 and older.
That most recent one was Charles Laughton's The Night of the Hunter.
Talk about a movie I need to rewatch because I didn't like it at all when I first and only time I've seen it. I was like, what?
When did you see it?
That's about 10, 15? No, 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 not 15. That must be like 10, 12 years ago because it was when I was already here in Scotland. And I remember thinking, it's a black and white movie about this guy who's kind of a bad preacher. Okay, cool. And kids. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And the
kinda. I mean,
And
yeah.
I was like, and the point? And like, I remember the movie finished. I was like, that was it? Did I miss something? And I must have missed something. Like, look. Am I an idiot? I bet. So, did I miss something? Probably. I like genuinely. That's one of those big ones. And I'm like, I like the wires have not crossed, or crossed weirdly. So I need to rewatch it. But please tell me, why should I rewatch it?
I think because yeah, the way you described, like it's a guy about a guy who's a bad preacher is
Hmm.
what you said, right?
Yes.
I don't think he actually is a preacher. I think he's pretending to be. I think
See, like
that's what.
I wasn't even sure if he's just pretending.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my bad memory. I think he's pretending to be a preacher, but what the movie's actually about is how children are the best judges of character and
Mm,
how children are unburdened by social politeness and acceptation of social hierarchy.
hmm.
Like all the adults in that movie take him for his word
Yeah, I
because
remember
he's a
that. Yeah.
preacher
Yeah.
or because he's like this authority figure. They think he's trustworthy because of who he's pretending to be, and the children are the only one who can see right through it.
Hmm.
They know
Hmm.
there's something up with this guy, and that's at its heart what the movie is about. Like how children are unburdened by social contract
Hmm.
and can actually see through all of the bullshit and know who
Hmm.
you really are.
Yeah. Yeah. See, like I have learned going on my cinematic journey and being trying to be as good of a cinephile as I can, that I'll never say like this movie is bad, like permanently. I always say, look, this movie didn't work for me, but especially if I only seen it once, I'm told like I'll never say anything ultimate because I know if I were to go back to it, I might discover something I totally missed, and I'm like, hey, I was an idiot. It's actually great. So like and that's one of the biggest ones where I'm like, this totally missed me, and I need to double check why and what it is again. So it's gonna be rewatched at some point because it's back in my head. And it's like, this is one of the big ones everybody loves, and I'm
Yeah,
like, what? Why? So like, but again, I think that's probably on me. So like, when I rewatch it, I might actually understand why people love it.
maybe. Yeah. I mean, aside from the fact that you can probably look into the themes a lot more
Hmm.
clearly now with a more experienced cinephile
Yeah.
mind,
Hmm.
Um, just the fact that it's a black and white movie that looks like that, like the way it plays with lights and shadows, it's gorgeous to look at. And that's
Yeah.
not true for an enormous amount of black and white movies from my perspective. I often have a
Oh.
hard time looking at black and white movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen too many of them because
Oh,
it
okay.
is something that absolutely does hold me back from watching a movie.
Because I was gonna say like I have the totally opposite experience with black and white. Many black and white movies I've seen, and I wouldn't claim I've seen tons, but I've seen some. Most of them actually, because they are black and white, the directors at the time try to do something nice with shadows. Like
Sure, yeah.
and like even as far back as like if you go to 1920s or 30s because of Cinematic Wasteland, shameless plug, I deal with Shane Conto and Adam, you know, like I've seen some movies I wouldn't have seen otherwise, and I'm like, damn, how did they do stuff like this in 1926, right?
Right. Well,
And
that
it's
may
like,
be then my relative inexperience with black and white movies that I've obviously missed a lot that do
mhm,
look great.
mhm.
But
No,
it
there are
really
some.
stood out to me with this one how it plays with the blacks of the
Yes,
shadows.
yes. And like famously, Hitchcock loved some shadow play. Like, if you watch some like not even early, but like some Hitchcock, he loved to play with shadows and like, how sometimes like eyes are not visible or like the like entire thing is not
Mm.
visible or sometimes it is and it's on purpose. Like it's like many filmmakers of that era, if they had the time and resources, they actually played around with that, and that's something that makes those movies very unique to me, and that's why I love black and white movies. Like that never stopped me. Like that never stopped me from appreciating movie. I know some people struggle with black and white, slow, different storytelling, thing where, oh yeah, they didn't know exactly what works and what doesn't. So you see many things that they try to do. And now, because of those movies, we know, hey, this doesn't work. So they never did it again, you know? So
Yeah.
like, that's kind of like that's the experimentation phase where, oh yeah, let's try this. Oh, that doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, let's not do that again. But yeah. Okay, well, but I think that's a good segue to black and white. What do you think, or yeah, what's your favorite movie decade?
It has to be the 90s.
Nine. Oh, nice. Very nice.
It's sort of that I see of it as like a golden period in between the um like the real mass market blockbuster consumer
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um cinema that we have now and the more original independent cinema that was in the 70s. I
Mm-hmm.
think the 90s is such a good blend where even the blockbusters were those kind of original ideas
Mm-hmm.
that all of the slop that we're getting now, all the remakes and reboots and sequels and inevitable
The nostalgia
endless
bait.
sequels, all the nostalgia bait are for movies that started in the 90s or maybe a little bit before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a reason for that. I think that's when like a lot of the like they had the juice, right? All of those golden nuggets were sifted out in the 90s and almost all of them worked. Like the big blockbusters in the 90s were so inventive
Mm-hmm.
and you still had the independent cinema to back it all up. Like
Yes.
I feel like even like novel adaptations from the 90s were better than they are now.
Like 90s is definitely one of those eras where it's like it's pre-digital. So like the most movies
Yes,
are still like, or not
they
most.
still look like
They still,
movies. Yeah,
yes, and again, look, if you cannot tell the difference between, like, check your eyesight. Like there is a fucking clear difference.
yeah,
I
there is a difference. Yeah,
and like it's even the feel, and also what I think is underestimated because of lack of digital, lack of VFX, all that. Not lack, but it was still fucking expensive to do VFX, right? So it was still cheaper to fly people on a location and shoot on locations.
yeah.
Like
There's a
the
lot less we'll fix it in post in the 90s than there is
Yes,
now.
and but also not even, yes, that's 100%. But also what I'm talking about, even the most average movie still feels better because hey, they are actually in a forest. Oh, they are actually on a fucking
Yeah,
hill,
yeah,
someplace. You see wind moving, you see like tiny things doing their things that otherwise you don't see. Those tiny details, like I always say this. James Bond, I've seen them all now. Not all of them are great, but
hmm,
even the ones that don't work as much for me, the locations were stunning. The scope of those movies is usually fucking massive because hey, if he's in Thailand, they fucking went to Thailand. If he's in
yeah,
Cuba, they fucking went to Cuba. And
or
it
at least somewhere
looks,
where the climate is very
yes,
similar.
similar, yes. And it looks fucking awesome. The scope of the camera work when you don't have to focus on, hey, we need to light this for a green screen like this, because there's a
Yeah,
different technique how to light this, scenes and your actors. Oh no, we use natural light. There's a shit ton of sun in, Thailand. And that's how you can, that's so different and feels like, hey, oh yeah, Sean Connery actually is
yeah.
climbing this mountain. Whereas,
You can get these wide vista shots where you can
yes,
see someone walking
yeah.
through the environment that you're not like that's a CGI character.
Yeah, and again, and to your point about the 90s, that's the also era where like there's a bunch of, I've seen, obviously, like I think both of us, because we are the similar age, if not the same age. I think we've seen a bunch of like 90s movies, and not all of them are great, but even the like average ones, I would put on much, much more like in more of a hurry than the Netflix movie from 2022, right? The one that like has the same color scheme, that looks kind of the same as 20 other movies you've seen, because there's nothing really unique besides like the story and the obvious elements, but like the way it's shot, it's like that kind of seems, like this movie A looks like these 20 movies we all seen,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what works, quote unquote.
Yeah, you're so right though. Like it is all the way down. Like if you compare like a modern streaming Liam Neeson action movie
Ooh, yeah.
to like what were bad action movies in the 90s? Under Siege.
Oh
Like
yeah,
if you compare Under Siege to the latest Liam Neeson action movie, Under Siege looks so much better because they were actually on a boat.
the first one though is not a bad movie. The first one is a fucking classic.
Okay, the second one on the train
I still haven't seen it, but yeah, apparently it's bad. I heard all the stories. Yes, I haven't seen it, but I will. But no, 100%. Yeah, they were on a boat. They didn't shoot. They had squibs. They like
Yes.
and that
None of
looks
this
much
CGI
better.
blood stuff that's just
Yes.
spraying and you're like you're supposed to be a very violent movie, but I don't believe your movie.
Or, oh, guys, we were shooting it as our movie, but now, we need to sell it as a PG-13. So, hey, in a post, let's remove all the blood, okay? Let's
Yeah.
remove all those. So if somebody gets shot, oh, they just fall to the ground. It's fine. Like, don't worry about the blood. It's, PG-13 only, okay? And I'm like, the fuck? The fuck, man?
Yeah.
Ah, ah,
And that's also, by the way, that's also kind of at fault for desensitizing people to violence in movies because it's all so light.
We are
Like,
pro-violence on this podcast, yes.
yeah, I'm pro violent movies.
Yes.
Let's get that out. But movies not looking violent while they are violent is the reason that violence is sort of you
Mm.
know.
Okay, I like the train of
If if
thought.
if if you can see a lot of impact that looks real to
Mhm.
the violence in movies, then you're a lot less likely to
Oh yeah.
minimize violence within your audience. Now, I'm not the kind of person who says that if kids see violent movies, they will want to commit acts of violence. I do not believe that to be true. But if you make light of it, then that is something you're telling your audience, especially the audience that
Mhm.
might be a little bit too young to see that kind of violence. Because, hey, as you said, if the lack of blood can make something suitable for younger audiences, then maybe you should reconsider what you're doing.
Yeah, like just yeah, probably. And again, like yeah, like again, like yes, 100%. And we support movie violence, not
Yes.
real life violence, just to make it clear. Because nowadays we live on an internet where everything needs to be clear.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway,
We do not condone actual real world violence.
no, 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 no. Anyway, so you've hinted at this, so let's go. What is your hot movie take you would like to share with us?
Okay. Let's see how hot can I make this? Do I go full nuclear?
Let's go. Yes.
Okay. If you like movies
Okay.
and a not insignificant time of your time, not insignificant amount of your time liking movies is spent paying any attention to how much money a movie makes, you're a bad person.
Oh, wow. Damn, you went for a jugular for some people, caring too much about box office. Wow, nice. All right. Do you care to explain yourself any further? Because it is quite
No,
self-explanatory.
it is quite soft.
Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously, like box office reports come out, and
Mm-hmm.
you see them. I see them too. Sometimes I don't necessarily pay any attention to them. I see
Mm-hmm.
them come along, and then I see comments like, "Oh, but if this movie makes more money than that movie, then we'll maybe we won't get a sequel to this movie." But and
Mm-hmm.
this movie that made more, I don't really like that movie. I don't really want to see a sequel to that. I want to see a sequel to this. Please stop.
Mm-hmm.
If you care at all about
Yeah.
how much money a movie makes to the point where it starts to encroach on how much value you personally derive from that movie, please reconsider.
Ah, okay. I think that's a important clarifier.
Yeah,
I think that
I wanted it to come across as hot as
yeah.
possible when
Oh
I
yeah.
started.
But to your point, I'll actually say this. When I started like proper caring about movies, I would spend a lot of time on like box office like Mojo and all those sites and like tracking every weekend. Not necessarily, oh, I enjoy this. I hope it makes all the money. Not that, just like wanted to be informed. But at some point, I stopped caring. And now where I know, for example, SwiftSwap, they do the summer blockbuster game, right?
Yeah. I
You will
listened to
never.
that this week, by the way, which is part of why I brought it up here because I did like listening to that. I had a good time.
Okay. You
But
will never find my name there. I couldn't like first of all, I don't know enough. Second of all, it's only America, so like
yeah,
this is such a sorry guys who's gonna listen to this, but this is such an American thing to do. Oh no, worldwide box office, who cares? America only. And it's like okay,
even the very thing of measuring success by money is a very American thing to do.
yeah. But I understand it's easier to predict to an extent. Okay, good. Okay.
Sure, yeah.
But like my main point, I don't really care. Like for example, only thing I care about, like when it comes to box office, like I just seen Weapons crossed like 250 million worldwide on a budget of 38. And I'm like, and I care about this just because this should send studios a clear message. You can make a horror movie, you can make a original movie, and if it's good, if it's good, it will actually make you the money. And
Yeah.
I hope, and this is the only reason I occasionally check Box Office Mojo and whatever. And then when I see those, I'm so happy that original like or Sinners and earlier on, I like the only reason I was interested in that was this was a great movie, and I hope it does well. Not to justify if I enjoyed a great movie because many people went to see it. No, I want to for the studios to get a message. Hey, many people will actually go support your movie if you give them something new. If you give youngish people
Hmm.
decent enough budget, some promotion, get behind them and let them cook. Like, it's not that hard. Many studios forget Indiana Jones wasn't a franchise. Raiders of the Lost Ark must have been a great movie to fucking, spin off two sequels, and we never had any others.
Yeah.
Star Wars was never meant to be a franchise. Star Wars was just New Hope. That's
Yeah.
it. Like,
It's just a movie called Star Wars.
it was, yeah, sorry, it wasn't even a New Hope. It was just
Yeah.
Star Wars. It was just
No episode four, just
yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah. Until it became a global fucking phenomenon. Like I still remember there are stories about that George Lucas was so convinced he made it like the biggest flop ever. He went to I think it was like Hawaii or like some sort of holiday. Like he was like too nervous to fucking be around. And then he came back and it was a mega hit. I was like, oh, okay, that worked out. Cool. So like that's the only reason I only track box office. But if this movie made 120 and this 118, I don't know what it means about humanity, and I really don't care. Like that's fine. Like I'm good. Yeah, I am fun in parties. Yes, that's why I never play these games. Like
No, I mean, and you're right, of course, in saying that having Weapons and Sinners both be successes in the same year is a huge boon for cinema in general,
and horror, like
and
especially
horror
both
as
of them
well.
being
Yeah,
horror aimed like directly at adults. Like
yeah,
both of those movies are hard R's. Like
yeah,
you cannot soften it up for, hey, let's make weapons but PG-13.
yeah. You probably can't do that. I haven't seen Weapons yet because I don't watch horror movies in theaters, but it's on the list for when
It's
it's
a
available for me here. But
great
yeah,
movie.
if like you said, if you get to a point where like, oh, this movie made $140 million, what does that mean for that? Did it recoup its budget? Does it mean that's a flop? Did it make money? Then I think that's already going too far in your investment in the financial success of a movie.
Yeah,
Like, I fully understand if you want to look at, okay, this movie had a $30 million budget, it made 70, it's probably a success. That's good because it's an original movie. I'm happy about that.
yeah,
And then your involvement should ideally stop.
yes, correct. That's it. Like again, like again, like Weapons, Sinners. I know that both movies made shit ton of money. Like and what's his name? Ryan Coogler.
Clear, yeah.
He even made a deal that apparently might revolutionize the Hollywood itself because like
He's getting the rights back
yeah,
in a
in like
number of years.
25 years.
Yeah,
So I'm like, good for him. I'm like,
yeah.
I really fucking hope this will become a trend because like fuck these studios owning rights to that.
Hmm.
No, no, no. It should be him and his family. So like, if he or wanted to do like, hey, I might die at some point, like maybe hopefully long, long time from now. Hey, I want this, my family to own the rights rather than, oh yeah, it was made with I don't know, Warner Brothers. I don't know. I don't remember. Like, oh, I wish we still had those rights. I know. I really like that because, people who create the shit should have a major saying. Should there be a sequel? I don't know. Like
Yeah,
there was
but
one of
that's
the.
also kind of like because let's take Weapons because Ryan Coogler is already like a very much an established name.
Hmm, hmm.
But like I worry for Weapons. I know Barbarian is very well liked
Yes.
in the
Also good
horror
movie.
community.
Yes.
I don't know if it's broadly as known as Weapons already is now. I think Weapons is a
No.
bigger hit.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So I worry that either the studio is going to want Weapons 2
Yes, 100%.
or that Zach Kreger is going to now be needled at, like, hey, do you want to make a Marvel movie?
I look. I think you're right in both. And like that was one of the biggest questions for Ryan Coogler. Oh, will it be Sinners 2? Will we get Sinners 2? And I'm like,
Yeah,
get fucked. We don't need Sinners 2. Like as much as I love that movie, we don't need Sinners 2. Let the man breathe. Let the man do what he wants. If he doesn't want to, and I think he's on record saying I don't want to do that. Good, great.
yeah, yeah. Let him do something else. If he wants
Yes.
to do something else that sort of feels like a spiritual sequel to
Yeah.
Sinners, I will be very happy with that. If he goes ahead and makes another more socially conscious drama like Fruitvale Station, or
Hmm.
then I will be happy with that as well because I think Ryan Coogler is a good director,
He's a
but
great one. Yes. Yeah. And
not
like to your
everyone
point,
thinks like that,
yes.
which is a shame.
And to your point, I about the Marvel stuff, like like the director being like, "Oh, do you want to do a Marvel movie next?" I kind of like and don't like the idea at the same time. It's again like Schrodinger's idea because like part of me is like we need people, new people who try to beat the machine in a way where it's like, hey, okay, he's got a unique vision, and as long as Marvel is not gonna go and get it through the wheels too much, we might actually get a great Marvel movie.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's just like the cinephile in me is like, but I don't want him to make Marvel movies. I want to make him tiny movies just for me. Okay, just for me.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, it would probably be cool to see a Zach Greger Marvel movie, but they're
Mhm.
not going to let him do that
Yes.
if they
Well,
get him to make one because they didn't let Scott Derrickson make the Doctor Strange 2 he wanted. They
mm,
didn't let Edgar Wright make the Ant-Man he wanted. They
famously,
definitely didn't let Chloe Zhao make the Eternal she wanted.
did they not? Wait, I didn't know about Chloe Zhao. Like
I
because
mean,
like that
I
feels
can't
very.
I can't imagine that that's a lot of Chloe Zhao in there. I mean, the
I was
parts
gonna
that are
say.
absolutely are, but
I think that was the biggest criticism with that. That really feels like a very like the most indie MCU that's ever will probably be because of that. Box office it did flop very hard.
yeah, but it could have been even more that.
No, of course, of course. Like, and again, like I would love to talk to her and say, hey, how much did you actually, like, how many notes did you get between the two of us? Like, how many? Because there's been probably several notes.
I mean, the main thing about that obviously is like there's a lot of the movie that was done for her by like the visual effects
Yes,
department or
yes,
like the previs that they call it.
yes.
Because but wasn't it it was the director of Black Widow, I think, who said that by the
Mhm.
time she came on board, half the movie was made.
I didn't. I don't think I actually registered that quote. So that's wild.
Like that entire third act on like the Sky Fortress, that already kind of existed by the time she started
Um,
filming or came on board for it. That's what I remember her saying. I could be wrong about that, of
I
course.
guess because it's so CGI heavy that sequence that they already were working on it,
Yeah,
and
they had
like
to storyboard and develop
yeah,
that so far in
yeah,
advance that the visual effects team could already, get a
yeah.
head start on it.
Which makes sense, but at the same time, that's a wild thought to be like, I cannot imagine being a director and be like, hey, I signed up to do this big blockbuster. Oh, one third is done? I've just started. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of like how Marvel, like, I mean, if you want another hot take,
Hmm.
like that's why the Russo brothers haven't made anything worth their while, worth anything since they
Ooh.
left Marvel because
Ooh.
they don't have the Marvel machine that already makes half the movie before they start.
So what you're saying is anybody could have made Endgame and Infinite War and it would have made as much money.
Yes, I don't think there's
Interesting.
anything special about the Russo brothers that made those movies good.
Where their filmography post Endgame, yeah, definitely supports you being right. I haven't seen, but to be fair, I haven't seen Cherry. I haven't seen the Electric State. That's also theirs, right?
Yes, I saw the Electric State earlier this year, and
Ooh.
I would like to not talk about that movie.
I have seen. They also did a Gray Man,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, like for what it was. Like it wasn't the greatest of movies, but I didn't hate it. But I know, like, well, I don't know if that's a hot take. I think it was received okay, like well enough, where it wasn't like,
yeah.
oh,
I think general consensus was, yeah,
it's fine, it's a movie.
Yeah,
But I remember like
it
when Electric
exists.
State
You
came
can watch
out.
it.
Yes, but yeah, that was the opposite of when Electric State came out. They were like, "Oh my fucking!" They spent how much on this shit? And like I still haven't seen it because partly because of that, but also it's like the new War of the World movie with Ice Cube. I am
Yeah, I
reading
haven't seen that
so
yet either, but
me neither.
everything you see about that.
It's
I saw yesterday, like Ice Cube said that he shot his scenes without the director.
yes, like 15 days on his own with nobody, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that kind of makes sense, I guess, because like on the scenes I've already seen from that movie, I'm like, that's such a bizarre looking thing. I know the reputation, and I know it's like apparently one of the worst movies ever. But I kind of like I really want to see it myself. Like I am gonna see it eventually. Like because like look, I'm a dumbass, okay? I don't believe anybody else. I need to form my own opinion.
Same.
So
I'll watch it eventually. I don't mind trash every now and
yeah, like look, and again, I want to see it. This is the morbid curiosity where it's like, is it truly as bad as everybody around me I trust and believe their film views? Is it truly as bad as they say, right? That's the
yeah.
morbid curiosity part of me. It's like, I know this is supposed to be shit. Is it as big of a shit? That's like, where you have the the expectations are, so low. It's a tripping hazard in hell. And you're like, is it? Is it though? Is it? I want to see it.
I also think it's healthy for me to see like absolutely dreadful movies. I think it helps. Like anytime I watch a movie that's just no, it's not very good, and I get the urge to say like this is terrible, to have
Mhm.
something in the back of my well, it's not War of the Worlds. I think that's very helpful to sort of
But
like balance your scales a little bit.
I was gonna say to cleanse your palate.
Yeah,
Because I've had in my cinephile life, I've had my streaks where I'll try to watch all the prestigious movies. So it's like, oh, this movie is on IMDb top 250. Okay, it's getting watched. It's getting watched. And then I don't know if it's just me, or maybe some people might relate to it also. I don't know. Hit me up if you do. You kind of become almost desensitized to the level of greatness.
sure, yeah,
And that's why I try to actually watch. Hey, I know this movie is supposed to be mid, but now I'm actually in the mood for something mid to cleanse my palate, so I can brace myself for this Oscar-winning drama that like
sure,
I
yeah.
really hope it'll shake me to my core. You know what I mean? I don't. But again, maybe it's just
There's
unique.
yeah, there's also something about those lists that it triggers something in my brain when it's like, okay, the 100 greatest movies ever made.
Mhm.
Something makes me go, oh, really? We'll see about that.
Like as much as I enjoy those lists, they're always like, it's like, oh, why is this movie here? Okay. And you watch it, it's like, I kind of see it.
Yeah,
Like, but sometimes it's like, but I'll say the newer ones where they include a lot of international features, I'm like, oh. And when you see like one movie specifically mentioned on several of those lists, like, okay, okay. Because
yeah,
when you see only one on like one list, it's like, okay, fine. Like, American movie from 1944, only on one list. Probably
yeah.
like, like soft spot for this specific
That
genre or
tells you
whatever.
more about who made the list
Yes,
than the
yes.
list itself. Yeah,
But then if you see like, bunch of, because there's this great, obviously Letterboxd does it for you automatically, great. But there's this website called 250films.net, and they take a lot of lists, not just IMDb, but like a lot of like they shoot movies on their list, they shoot like AFI and all that, and you can actually check your movies manually. So every once in a while, when you watch a bunch, you can go through it and like, oh, check this, check this, check this. And when you see on many of lists, like, oh, this movie repeats quite a lot.
hmm.
Oh, this movie repeats quite a lot. And then like it gives you an idea of like, hey, there's definitely a lot of overlap, and those are usually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, but that's really the way that I see those lists as being
Hmm.
useful in terms of
Yeah.
discovery and stuff.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
probably isn't that helpful as an actual like
Yeah.
ranked list.
Hmm.
Like like I trust people who have their own rank lists, right? This is my top 100 favorite movies of all time, but
Hmm.
and this might also be a hot take, but if you're the kind of person that like there's the IMDb top 250 or the
Hmm.
Letterboxd top 250.
Yeah.
If you make a concerted effort to watch like that whole list
Hmm.
and there's not like at least 10 movies you hate, I don't trust you as a person.
Ooh.
I do because it feels performative. If you watch a list of 250 best movies ever made, and you're like, oh, all of them are 5 stars. I love all of them.
Yeah, I know. I see what you mean. Yeah, see, like this is why I am who I am. Like if you go through my letterbox ranking, you know me, I'm fucking wild. Like
Yeah,
sometimes it's like, like I sometimes you even comment on like, I don't know why did you rate this so low? Like what the fuck? And I'm like, sorry. And it's like,
I,
yeah.
but I also like being kind of a little bit of like fake confrontational with
Nah,
people
no.
who don't like movies I like as much as I like them.
No, I know, and I appreciate that. But also, like you know, like it's all not no better feeling, quote unquote, and when you watch this random movie and I'm like, oh, easy 5 star, this is a great movie, and you go to Letterboxd, 2.2, and like
I
three people
love
saw,
that so much.
and three
Like
people saw it, and it's like 2 stars, 2 stars, 1 star. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be the other one person who's like 5 stars. Here we go.
Like my favorite feature on Letterboxd, it's on the stats page somewhere,
Hmm.
is like the movies you have rated higher than the
Higher,
average. Yeah.
yes,
That's my
yes.
favorite section of Letterboxd because I get to just scroll down to there and go, well, these people are clearly idiots.
If you go through mine, yeah, you'll see some gems. You'll see
Yeah,
some,
man.
and if you go through the lower than average, you will probably hate me if you're a Lord of the Rings fan because I mentioned that to Robert. I am due for a rewatch because I rated them the lowest I can because I was an angsty teenager and I really didn't care for them.
I mean,
Uh,
that's fair enough as an angsty teenager.
yes.
If you rewatch them and your opinion hasn't changed, then we'll start to have issues.
And I said that something like that, like, look, I'm not saying when I rewatch it, it's gonna be 5 out of 5, right?
Oh, it doesn't
Maybe
have to
not,
be. No, of course
maybe
not.
not, but I will definitely give it a much more fair shot, and I will watch the extended edition. So I need to carve out some lot of time, 12
I'm
hours.
I'm a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings, but not one of those people who it's like the extended edition is the only edition. That's
Hmm.
no,
Hmm. Okay,
especially if it's like, especially on a first time watch, and then later you can go back to them and reward yourself. If you love the theatrical, you can reward yourself with the extended version later.
okay, that's fair. That is fair. Okay. Now again, like it is on my list to rewatch. It's just yeah, like I do want to carve out that time because I still haven't because of that I still haven't seen the Hobbit movies as well like not
You can
lots.
skip those.
I That's what I hear. But look, if I'm gonna do
Completionist,
take
right?
yes, take my time and actually properly watch it, sit down and put my angsty teenager, oh, look at me, I'm cool. I don't like Lord of the Rings, okay? So look at me, I'm so fucking cool. Don't you wanna be me? So wink wink. If I put this aside and actually try to see it for what they are, might as well do the Hobbit movies as well. Yeah.
Sure. But
But
then you
yeah,
get into the whole thing like, do you need to see the Rings of Power? Do you have to
nah.
watch the War of the Rohirrim movie
Look,
that
look,
they
look,
made?
look, look. Rings of Power. If I like it enough, hey, I'll give it a shot. Like I'm open. Look, I've learned to be like, if I like something, I'll like something. I don't,
Yeah,
well, and if I like it, I'll try the TV show. Well, why not?
yeah.
But
I still haven't seen Rings of Power, but that's because it's a TV show. So I
yeah,
just can't be bothered.
fair,
I'll wait till it's done, and then if I hear it's good, all of it, then I'll watch it.
fair. No, I do appreciate your hot takes. We've kind of gone all over, but that's mostly my fault. So, but I really liked it. So I think with that we can move to the underrated part of the podcast where I ask you, Chris,
Yes,
who do you think is the most underrated actor we have right now?
Stephen Graham,
Oh yes, that's my boy.
and I think he's getting a lot of shine. I think for adolescents, which is
Yes.
also a show that I haven't seen because it's a show. So just around that, I think Stephen Graham has always been excellent, and I'm happy he's getting a lot of shine for adolescents now.
Hmm.
But
Are
he's
you one of the few people who watched the Boiling Point movie, not the TV
yes,
show? Yeah,
yes, I watched the movie, not the show.
because it's the same director also for adolescents as the movie, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
and same concept. It's one take. It's like
Yes,
one
yes,
continuous shot. I think they
yes.
shot it 4 times,
Yeah,
and they used the second.
I think they used it. You mean for a Boiling Point?
Yeah.
I think if I remember, they used the third, but yeah, you're right.
Oh, it could be.
They used again. I might be wrong, but he did. Yeah, they because I remember reading they shot it 4 times, and funny enough, it was like literally like 3 days before the COVID shutdown. They made it
Right.
like in the UK. I think they made it like 25th of March and like 28 or something like everything shut down. So literally like pretty much like the next 2 3 days everything got shut down. So like just before the pandemic actually broke out, here in the UK. So but and Steven, I've said this before because you're not the first one who mentioned him. So that's a great one. I remember noticing him. You wouldn't notice him because that's a TV show. Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
It's a great. If you ever get the chance to catch up on some TV, that's a great HBO show. It's 5, 6 seasons, something like that. Every season only has like 10 episodes. Martin Scorsese is behind it. Like he actually directed the first episode. Genuinely great. Like this is where I knew, hey, Michael Shannon is a great actor because he is phenomenal in that show. This is where I knew, hey, there's this guy called Jeffrey Wright. Damn, he's a fucking
Oh,
phenomenal actor.
he
He's in
is,
that
yeah.
show. There's a Stephen Graham. Who is this? Oh, he's also great. What the fuck? There's Michael Pitt, who's is a bit problematic because apparently he also has some Me Too shit going on, so that's why he's no longer acting. But
Jeez.
he's great in that show too. Like Shea Bigham, who's now in every blockbuster ever as a fucking sidekick.
Hmm.
He's he's excellent in that show. Gretchen Mol, like there's so many people. Oh, look, Bobby Cannavale. I'm like, who is this dude that shows up in the third season and fucking takes off? I'm like, wow. No, like that show is like, who is who from like most of current like Hollywood. Like when it comes to, hey, just before they got big, like they had the opportunity to shine, and they did in the Boardwalk Empire. Really good show. And Stephen Graham, one of them.
Yeah, all those people you just mentioned are great actors. So,
Yes.
yeah, doesn't make me want to watch the show,
Fair, fair.
but that's more because it's a show, not because I wouldn't be interested in those people working.
Yeah. No, again, look, if
But
you ever
yes,
change your mind, if you ever change your
yeah, I
mind,
mean, there's plenty of shows. I mean, I haven't
yes,
seen The Wire, and that's probably a show that I would be watching if I got back into television.
that's a great one.
I haven't seen. I hear a lot of good stuff about The Americans with Kerry Russell and Matthew Reese.
I still haven't
Probably
seen
would
it, but
watch that as
also,
well.
yeah, same. I haven't seen it, but I also hear good things. It's on my list, but so are
Yeah.
there like 100 TV shows, so like there is no list.
Yeah, but Stephen Graham, I mean, he's been working for a very long time as
Yes.
like he's one of those typical that guys that
Hmm.
you just see. That's that guy from the thing that we saw the other
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
He's that British
um,
dude. Hey, oh, he's the funny
he's that.
British dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the great thing about like adolescence and Boiling Point is that he gets to speak with his own accent
Hmm.
and gets to throw Americans for a loop. What's he saying? Where's he
Yeah.
from?
Yes. Yes. No, he's a great actor, and he's the like what Leonard Moulton always says, "Oh, he's an overnight success, but it took him 20 years in the
Yeah,
making because like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
been working for over 2 decades, I think now." But yeah, like now he finally gets the spotlight, and when people go through his filmography and watch Boiling Point or Boardwalk Empire or many other movies he's been in, and he's always great, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's always been great. He just needed that one thing to actually, shot him through the atmosphere, and like adolescents seem to have done it."
Yeah.
So yeah.
If I can give a specific recommendation for Stephen Graham,
Of course.
we can go right along the same lines. Well, it's not a one take movie, but there's I want to say it's like an 18-minute oneer.
Hmm.
It's in the movie Help with Jodie Comer.
Oh.
It's set in a care home for dementia patients
Hmm.
during COVID, and
Mm.
Jodie Comer plays one of the caretakers, and Stephen Graham is one of the patients.
I haven't seen
And
that. I didn't even know that movie existed, so thank you for mentioning that.
yeah, and there's
Okay.
there's like an 18-minute. I think it's 18 minutes, and it's one take
Hmm.
where Jodie Comer has to perform like an emergency, uh, not an operation, but there's a procedure that she has to do on a patient,
Hmm.
and she's all alone because it's in the middle of the night and she needs help.
Yeah.
So she needs Stephen Graham, who has dementia, who has memory issues, and get him to help her perform this procedure on another patient.
Damn.
And it's hold your breath for 18 minutes, man. It's so good.
So it's just called Help.
It's just called Help.
Okay, I'll I need to search it up on my app that tells me where everything is streaming because, oh, it's not streaming anywhere in the U Oh no, Channel 4. Mm.
Oh, it could be a Channel 4 original movie, even. That could be the thing that it was.
Well, Jodie, yeah, both British actors, yeah, Jodie
Yeah.
Comer. Okay, like I will definitely remember that and get it watched at some point because that
Both
sounds
with their own Liverpool accents. So it's a
yes,
wonderful watch.
yes, yes. Love to see that. Okay, thank you for mentioning that. Like I didn't even know that existed before you mentioned it. So thank you for that. So who do you think is the most underrated actress we have right now?
Rebecca Hall.
My man. Yes.
And it's a strange thing to say because her most high profile roles have probably been in those King Kong movies,
Well, I would
or
say
like
even
Godzilla Kong.
like I would
Those
say
have been
even
ones.
not Prestige. Fuck's sake.
She's in
The
the Prestige,
Oh no,
so
it is Prestige. Yes.
yeah. But yeah, it's a really thankless role because she's like
Mm.
Christian Bale's wife,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's not a whole lot to it. But yeah, I think like if you've seen The Night House and in particular Resurrection, like I truly believe she can do anything. I think she is so good in both of those movies.
I haven't seen either. I haven't seen either. But I also heard, and I heard you talk about this on some podcast. I couldn't remember which one. But I remember you talking about Christine. And it's been on my watch list for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
And I
I
haven't.
probably mentioned it to say that I haven't seen it because of the
Yes.
subject matter. Yes.
Yes. Yes, you have. Yeah. Excuse me. And I haven't seen it either. Because yeah, like I it's been on my watch list on this one streaming service, but then they removed it. And I'm like, fuck.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so like I was gonna watch it because knew, I think I knew there's like some sort of like suicide happened, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
but she's in it, so I was like, it's not like I'm looking for it, but I'm like, but Rebecca Hall's in it, so it should be good. Like, yeah, like I remember seeing what was the name of the movie where it's like it's kind of the inspiration for Wonder Woman, but she
Right.
plays
Yeah. Professor Marston and the Wonder Women. Yeah. She
yes,
plays one part of a thruple.
yes, and that's an interesting movie, and she is great in that
It's a
movie.
really good movie. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's a
And
like
it's not at all like the
known.
kind of movie that you think when you hear the premise of like, hey, this one dude with two wives and they like bondage. That's
Yeah.
it's not that movie at all.
And it's not 50 Shades.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Which works
like
in its favor.
like it sounds like a very horny movie,
Yeah,
but
it's
in
not.
action, yeah,
It's a
in
little
reality,
horny at times, but it's not a horny movie.
like little horniness never killed anybody. All right,
Exactly.
as long as
Yeah.
it's consensual,
Yes.
you know. But no, but that's a great movie and it's a great drama. But yeah, like like two, neither of those I still haven't. I've seen Night Moves and the Resurrection. You said
The Night House and
Night House,
Resurrection. Yeah.
Night
Yeah.
House. Sorry. Yeah,
Both
like
horror movies, which is rare for me, but yeah, two I watched just because she's in them.
okay.
She really does have a face for horror movies, though. She's incredibly expressive.
I
Like
think she
there
has
are
space for any movie, really.
sure, can't
Like
disagree with that.
Like she's great looking and she's a great actress. What else
Yes.
do we want? Like really? Like I but I agree with like it's weird to say she's underrated because like she's been in some like The Town or like Prestige. Like she's been in some high profile stuff.
Yeah, she's been in great movies. I don't know if
But
she's gotten like the roles that
yes.
her talent deserve.
And realistically, she should have been nominated at least once or twice for Oscar already. Like
Sure.
honestly,
Yeah.
like
I agree
I
with
think
that.
she's got the talent for that. And if you gave her, it's she's genuinely like I have this theory where all the actors in Hollywood are 10, 80, 10%. What I mean by that, 10% of actors, it's not a question of if they win an Oscar, it's more when. Like Saoirse Ronan, Zendaya, all
Yeah.
those like big actors. It's like just it's just a matter of time before they land the role, and that it will finally get them the golden boy, right? And then there's a 80% of actors where Rebecca Hall is, or even the Rock, is somebody like the Rock. But I said that even before Smashing Machine, give him a good role. Fucking Rock can walk away with Oscar because he's got the charisma. I think he's got the chops that are like he's good enough. If you give him a good role, he actually might be great. And he's got the PR behind him. The most
Yeah.
important part, he's got the machine behind him. So like even like I'll still say this. I don't know if it's gonna be for Smashing Machine. I can see a future in 10 years time. Rock might be an Oscar winner, and we will not laugh about it. Right now, it's like, oh, The Rock, what the fuck? Nah. No, I see it. I can see it. I can see it.
If he leans into that area of
He wants
um,
to. He
yeah,
Like I remember 2, 3 years ago, he openly said, "I'm kind of done with the blockbusters in a way. He wants to focus on on drama movies, like and specifically he mentioned A24, and he already has like if you've seen, he didn't lose the weight for Smashing Machine, but he lost a lot of fucking weight, and he's like, oh no, that's actually for a different movie where I play this like not a cancer patient, but something like some sort of patient, and he wants to lose even more of weight for that role, and I'm like. Yeah, he's going for that Oscar, boy.
hmm.
He wants that Oscar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
We'll see. I mean, I do think he can act. I just haven't seen enough evidence of it in the last like decade or so.
just wait until Smashing Machine comes out because that
Yeah,
seems to be that vehicle that will should catapult him into hey, he can actually act.
we'll see.
But again,
I'll
Rebecca
be I'll be
Hall,
happy to see it if he's good in it.
yeah, and Rebecca Hall, just to go back to your point, I genuinely believe she's in that 80% where give her a good role, give her a good script, and enough backing behind her where they can actually push her for an Oscar. Because again, at the end of the game, it is a one big game of, hey, we'll donate this money for this people. Oh, we need it here. Okay, consider us,
Yeah,
please. It's a lot of games, and if those two conditions are met, I can see her being, Oscar winner Rebecca Hall.
yeah. I mean, because she directed passing. She didn't.
Hmm.
Yeah, she wasn't in it. So I don't know where her career is going. Whether she wants to direct more
Hmm.
or if she's even interested in like chasing the Oscar because a lot of actors aren't.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she definitely has the talent to back one or two in her career. I mean, she's still young, so she can make it work.
Well, she is young, but for Hollywood,
Yeah, okay. She's not Hollywood young.
yeah, for Hollywood, like she's all reaching the grandma age. It's like, oh, hey, granny. Even though I would
Yeah,
love to think they've changed.
I mean they've changed in terms of they'll give Jamie Lee Curtis an Oscar, but I don't know if that means anything for the long term.
Yeah, that true. That is true. But yeah, well, we can only hope they've changed. But yeah, who do you think is the most underrated director we have right now?
This was hard for me because I don't really get on director bandwagons. I don't necessarily have directors I'm a fan
Okay, okay.
of. But if I had to, like, I scrolled through my list of most watched directors for a little while. Like, who is here who doesn't get a whole lot of shine? And
Hmm.
I ended up on Tony Scott because I
Oh,
think Ridley gets a lot of shine. I think Tony doesn't get enough.
I really like that. Tony, like, first of all, rest in peace, because
Yes,
yeah.
obviously.
But second, so I just rewatched the other month Enemy of the State for one of Shane's podcasts because, he had it on. I was like, all right, let's go. And I even said something like, I think we do not appreciate how much Tony Scott has done for action genre,
Yes.
where it was the one of the few, him and Paul Greengrass, two people who can actually make quick cut action scenes work, where we still have, oh yeah, it's fine. We can still see what's happening. And it actually serves some sort of purpose rather than, oh yeah, we're trying to hide there's a stuntman here, so we need to do 15 cuts. Okay, guys? All right, guys. And I think, he's got such unique vibe to his movies. It's almost like controlled, and especially like in the later years, it's almost like a controlled madness. If you've seen
Yeah.
movies like Domino or, like a Man on Fire, it's like almost like a controlled chaos in a way. And the day learned he died, I was quite sad. Like he wasn't my like I'm not gonna claim he was my favorite. He wasn't my favorite, no. But I really liked a lot of his movies, and I was like, damn, we will miss this fucking dude because his unique energy
Hmm.
that he could project onto the screen was like again, I could probably name like maybe Paul Greengrass was the one who came close to his kind of level of action.
Yeah. There's
So
there's
like,
a lot of that like in 90s, early 2000s
mhm,
action movie, like the patina of it, the look and feel of it, that's kind of almost completely gone. You're not going to find a whole lot of that anymore.
mhm,
And because it was really Like Joe Carnahan has it a little bit.
Hmm.
Who's the McTiernan, but he hasn't been making movies for a
Yeah.
long time because he was in prison, I think.
Yes, he was.
He's out now though, but I
Yes,
don't
he
know if
is.
he's making movies again.
I think he's made one or two, but I don't remember. Like I don't remember how well they were received or whether I even seen them, to be honest.
Yeah, and they're probably small because nobody feels like handing him a budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, those big '90s action movies, like the people who made those, all of that knowledge has kind of been lost with what we talked about earlier. Is like the convenience of making movies in a studio on the
Hmm.
soundstage and in
Hmm.
front of a volume and whatever.
And again, like would like to reiterate one extra point. He used the jump cuts so effectively and as a means of storytelling rather than trying to hide this or trying to hide this or trying to confuse you. Like even
Yeah.
Enemy of the State, like it has its flaws, the movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie by any means, but it's a very enjoyable movie.
Hmm.
And you can tell he's just having so much fun. Oh yeah, this scene will be so interesting if we do this, and he does that. I was like, okay, but you can still orient yourself within the scene where everybody is, and I'm like, okay, okay, okay. I like what are you cooking with. I like
Yeah,
it.
like the sense of geography that is kept even in the jumble is
Yes.
is very impressive. Whereas, like a lot of those quick cut action movies now, it's basically just hiding the fact that these actors aren't actual martial artists or they don't
Yeah.
really know how to fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas those movies, like I think back to like Joe Carnahan's Narc, like that was an enormously jumbled movie, but that's like the camera was shaking because the camera operator was running after.
Mm.
I think it's I don't actually remember who the lead in that is, but yeah, you're in the middle of the run, so you're in the moment, and the camera is swaying, but you kind of keep on him. So it looks frantic, but
Hmm.
you still are with it. You're in the geography of it. Whereas the chaos and the jumble of a lot of other movies in that vein are just to confuse you.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. I 100% agree. And I didn't see the arc, so like I cannot comment on that. But like I would love to. Again, give me a good action movie. I'll love it.
I don't think Narc was an action movie per se. It was
Oh,
more like a
okay.
crime drama, but there was
Ooh, okay.
some action going on in there. I know it's Ray Liotta, but I don't remember who was the
Oh.
lead.
Another one, rest in peace.
It's Jason
Unfortunately.
Patrick. That's a
Ooh,
name I haven't heard in a long time.
okay. Yeah, same. Okay.
Yeah, Jason Patrick and Ray Liotta, directed by Joe Carnahan. So yeah, that's a recommendation.
Okay. Okay. On my ever-growing list, never-ending list it goes. Well, I know the next one is difficult because there are so many movies, but is there one or two you would like to shout out as underrated?
Fortunately, we just talked about my favorite feature on Letterboxd, which lets you know which movies
Nice.
you've rated higher than others.
Yep.
I would like to. This is not a saying in English. I would like to. I would like to shout out a movie called Colossal with Anne
And
Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis.
that's a great fucking shout out. I have seen that. Yes, yes. Let's sing the song and praises about it. Yes, please.
So I think because I think I don't know. I think it's a 5-star movie. It's like a 3.1 on Letterboxd. It is basically Anne Hathaway figuring out that after she's been drinking, her body controls a giant kaiju in the city of Seoul, Korea,
Yep.
and it is basically a deconstruction of like substance abuse and alcoholism, and also like the toxic environment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, you probably shouldn't say too much about it because it has a couple of turns that you might
Yes.
not be expecting if you're watching it. But yeah, the concept itself, the premise immediately drew me to it, and then knowing that it had something to say underneath it all, very impressive to me. I
Mm-hmm.
really love that movie.
I think I gave it like a 4 stars, but I really liked it, and I think on a rewatch it might go even higher because I that's one of those like I only seen once, didn't know anything about it except like I remember seeing like a poster with Anne Hathaway and some giant monster, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, that's weird. What are they?
yeah.
And
And
then like,
it's because it's weird because it plays it for laughs like the first
yes,
time,
yes,
but it's so not funny.
and then like as you say, couple of twists and turns happen, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, didn't see that coming.
yeah.
Ooh, and I remember
Like
we like. I need to fucking sort my head around this movie because I remember liking it, but it was something that I think was stopping me from loving it. I don't remember what because it's been a while, but I know I like on a rewatch. That's a movie that I think will reward. The more time you watch it, the more time the more you will get, and you will actually be rewarded.
It might. I haven't seen it again yet, but I
Mm,
probably should also give it another watch. Now, it has been long enough that I don't remember all of it, but do
yes.
remember like key moments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Do you
yeah,
have?
also one of the reasons I love it so much is like
Mm,
there's a thing that actors get sometimes that I really enjoy, where actors start a scene one way and
mm.
then slowly morph into something else. My favorite version of that is in Michael Clayton. There's a
Oh.
scene that Tom Wilkinson starts drunk, just completely zonked out, and over
Mm-hmm.
the course of a discussion about the legalities of a situation, like the law, he
Mm-hmm.
sobers up over the course of the scene, and it's brilliant to watch. And Jason Sudeikis has something like that in Colossal. That's
Yes.
one of my favorite things about it.
I wondered whether you mean him. I was like, oh, that's, yeah, 100%. I think I remember exactly the scene you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely. 100%. No, I like talk about another one that's due for a rewatch, but for not for the entire different reasons. I genuinely think I'm gonna love it or appreciate it even more because yeah, that definitely once you know all the twists and turns, then the movie will reward you for watching it again and how it's seeded throughout.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, that's a great pick. Any other ones?
Any other ones? Well, I mean, there was another one on that list that's
Hmm. Because
it's
I reckon, given I usually ask for a TV show, but since you're not a TV
oh, I
guy,
have a TV one.
oh,
It's just a
okay.
cop out.
No, no, that's fine. We can move to the TV. Like one movie is more than enough. But if you want to shout out a second one, we can do
I'll
that.
give a quick shout out to because it's a movie I don't think a lot of people have seen. It's a movie called Corner Office with John
Hmm.
Hamm. And
Okay.
I'm I should just shout it out and say nothing because it's a movie that I cannot prepare you for.
I that's see, and this is what I like, and this is what I want. I just want to know, hey, it's a good movie. I never even heard of it. Corner Office. Never
Corner
even heard
Office.
of it.
Yeah.
And I just John Hamm is in it. Okay, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool,
It's
cool, cool.
it's John Hamm and I think it's Danny Pudi or Putty. He played Abed in Community. He's also in that.
Oh, okay. I still haven't seen Community, but I think I know who you're talking about. Okay, let me again to my app. I go. Does it stream anywhere at all?
I
Because
don't know
like
if it does.
no. Oh wait, in the UK apparently Prime,
Okay. I
Amazon
saw it on
Prime.
Prime as well, so that's useful. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think it had a lot of people who had seen it, so
Hmm.
probably the less said about it, the better, because it's a very strange movie, but I loved it so much.
I love me some strange movies. So hey, yes,
Yeah,
right in
less
my
than
wheelhouse.
10,000 people have it logged on Letterboxd, so
That's a rare one. Nice. Okay, okay. I'll on the ever-growing list it goes.
all
On
right.
like making a mental note here.
Should I give you my cop out TV show answer?
Please, please, please.
Because this is one of the most popular TV shows of in recent years, but I still think it's underrated. It will
Mhm.
never be properly rated. Nothing will ever be said about this show that properly rewards how brilliant it is. Arcane is one of the greatest things ever made.
I was gonna say is it Arcane because I know of your love for that show,
I love it so much.
and we don't have to go deep into it, but all I'll say is I liked it. I really liked it, but I wish I could be on your level. That's a TV show to me. That's so when I was talking to it about to Mike and Nick on their podcast, I said something like, you know how people made the joke about Game of Thrones? Oh, I need a fucking map and like diagram who is who, like how they
Yeah.
are related to. I don't know if it was this, the break between season one and two. There was like another 2 or 3 years, right? But I kind of forgot. And even when they reminded me, I'm like, wait. So when something happened, I was like, wait, how are they related again? Is this? Wait, and how is this related to what's happened? I was so fucking confused, man. I felt like like the dumbest motherfucker ever. I'm like, wait, why is this important? Okay, I guess it's a game thing. Cool. What just happened? Is that also? How does this work work? Why does this work? I really wanted a lot of answers. Like basically, right? I never could immerse myself into it properly because like I feel like that world was set up well enough where I understood, okay, this is a kind of a force thing, but it's like okay, cool. But it gives you superpowers. Okay, cool. But then why? And I never understood why. Like, and again, maybe I'm just focusing on total wrong things,
It's
right?
magic.
Like, look, and but again, I've never played the game, and to me, I've
Me neither,
always,
by the way. I've never played League of Legends either, but
yeah,
League of Legends doesn't have a story, so
yeah.
there's not a whole lot about that game that prepares you for
Mhm.
Arcane. So you either get it or you don't, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like stunningly animated.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
one of the most
animation.
beautiful things I've ever seen.
Yes.
It's wild to me that they, like you said, like there was like a 2.5 year pause between season one and two. The fact that they made 9 episodes of that show in 3 years blows my mind.
Mm. Like I'll give you that. Like it's a stunning looking show. Even though the season one, sometimes I thought, well, the animation is kind of interesting. Like in a way, like I feel like they were going for something, and I don't think it clicked with me. But
Hmm.
most of the time, it did. Like, but there were some scenes where like, really, is that where you're going? Like, really? Okay, cool. Moving on. Oh, that's a great one. Okay, cool. But I remember like the season two, the talk about a show where the episode was it the episode before the finale? It kind of felt like a finale. I was like, damn, hyped. That was an epic fight. Oh, there's another episode. Okay, and then finale happens. I'm like, I'm not as hyped after this episode as I was before the previous one.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's
And
also a Game of Thrones thing, right? Episode 9 was always the big one,
mm,
and then episode 10 was sort of like the climbing
mhm.
down the mountain.
But I think it might have been even like because they were split into three. Thinking Netflix, by the way, and like think it was
Well, yeah, that's because
this.
yeah, they're designed as like they're basically because they're 9 episode seasons, 2 seasons, so 18 episodes. They're basically 6 movies.
Yes. And see, like, even though I finished it now, like this year, I feel like I need to rewatch it, actually, like, binge it. Where this, like,
Yeah,
I feel like this is a show where it's meant to be binged. Kind of like weird thing. Have you ever heard of or seen? Well, you're not a TV show guy, so I guess you haven't seen it. Have you heard of Disenchantment?
I have. Yeah, that's the Matt Groening sort of
Yes,
fantasy. Yeah.
yes, yes. Talk about a show that was fucking killed because of the amount of fucking time between seasons. Because
Hmm.
I genuinely believe I finished it, and I genuinely said to my fiance now, if we were to binge it now, because it's not that long, it's only 3 seasons. But they split those seasons, even like 10 episodes 1 year and 10 episodes another year, but it's still technically like a second season, right?
Yeah.
There's so much detail in that story where like would reference like, oh hey, we actually seen this in like in the first season, but since there was like 4 years between seasons, you forgot about it. And I have this inkling, if I were to rewatch it, like Disenchantment, I would love it much more because like I would actually catch those little details.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think with Arcane, I do need to wait a couple of years and rewatch the entire thing on my own like time. And I maybe will finally be on your level because I know how much you love it. And we usually quite align. And I'm like, and I listen to you talk rave about it. I'm like, damn, this dude is very passionate about this. I really wish I could see what he sees because that was one of the shows I'm like was supposed to be phenomenal. Like I think I don't know if it's still rated that highly on IMDb, but I think it's rated like top 10 or top 15 shows of all time. So I'm like,
Deservedly so.
yeah. See,
Yeah, I will. I do think it is best served watched as they released, like
okay.
3 episodes a week. I
And then
think.
you didn't you wait 2.5 years between season one and two?
Well, probably just do it the next week then. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
but like I don't know if it would be best served by like binging it as fast as you can.
Hmm.
I definitely think there's value in three at a time,
Okay.
and then just I don't know, stop for the day or the weekend or the week, and just have some time to you know get get excited for the next bit. Because I
Okay.
do think a lot of it is a lot of excitement and passion for things can be lost by watching them too quickly or too slowly. And that's certainly the thing with like seasons being like 2 years or 3 years removed.
Hmm.
But I do think it's also a thing where if you're like, oh, there's a new show, it's 8 episodes, I watched it in a weekend. I
Yeah.
do think that also kind of hurts
Hmm.
that because if we were talking about like 20 years ago when there was like prestige television was just starting and you were talking to people at work all week about this show that just aired and oh my what's going to happen next, that is kind of crucial
Hmm.
to enjoying like not necessarily a procedural show, but definitely a serial show.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, they're designed kind of as like 3 episode arcs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works as a movie. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you allow that to sink in and think about what happened and what might happen next, I think that's how it works best. And it is how I saw them. Because I
Okay.
saw that first season as it released, like three, and then wait a week and then three, and wait a week and then three.
Okay.
And that had a profound impact on me with how much I thought about the show in between
Mm-hmm.
those releases and how much I've thought about it since. Like I haven't seen I like when season 2 aired. I think it was late last year. I think
Something, yeah,
I
like
think
around the.
November or something like that.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So the show ended in November,
Mm.
and I didn't watch anything else till January because nothing could be like that again. Like
Mm.
I was legitimately I was punched out of my movie loving experience by Arcane.
Wow.
I couldn't
Okay.
see anything else.
See, if I eventually actually rewatch it, I hope I'll remember this and to do that, like, watch the 3 episodes in a row and give it a break. Watch it three and 3 more episodes, give it a break. Because that seems like a sensible approach, especially if you lover of that of Arcane tells me that's how you manage to find it most meaningful.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will
Okay.
say though, because like I'm talking about like the show as a whole.
Hmm.
And I will say that most of my adoration of it is wrapped up in season 1. I think season
Okay.
one is a masterpiece.
Okay.
I think season 2 is only very, very exceptional.
Okay. I
It's
see.
slightly lesser because, and there's a lot of discussion about it. Like a lot of people think that season 2 is season 2 and 3 pushed into one, like forced into one season.
I've heard about
And
that, yeah.
there's definitely, I can see why that argument is being made.
Hmm.
I do think it works as one season, but I would have also liked maybe a little bit more.
Hmm.
But then again, like knowing how much effort it takes to make like even 4 seconds of animation in that show, like I've watched like behind the scenes and people were talking like on general it takes one of our animators like a week to animate a second and a half of this TV show. It's like okay, well,
That's like a Ghibli movie.
yeah, man,
That's why there's always like, Hayao Miyazaki, like The Boy and the Heron, the latest one, right? Like that started production 2016 or
yeah,
17 because yeah, it was like kind of what do you say? Apparently like like they even worked on one frame, not minute or second, one frame for like a week. I was
yeah.
like, there's 24 fucking frames in 1 second.
Yeah, depending on the frame, that will take a long time for all of this. But I think yeah,
I was like,
especially like those frames that have a lot of because it's an interesting animation style that I don't think like a lot of studios have tried to replicate it. Like Puss in Boots: The
yes,
Last Wish really
yes.
tries to look like Arcane. I don't think anyone has actually succeeded in actually looking like Arcane,
Mm,
but because of all the layers, like it is basically 2D animation made to look like 3D animation,
hmm.
and it's yeah, it's incredibly impressive. Like it's one of those shows that you can pause at any point and you have something that you can put on the wall, and
Yeah,
that's very rare for an animated thing.
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Like, it's stunning. It's definitely stunning. So yeah. Well, okay. Well, hopefully I'll remember that recommendation when if I ever rewatch it, because that seems like a sensible approach.
I mean, I'll never stop talking about this show, so I'll probably remind you before that.
Okay. And I do remember that you are absolutely here, like up high, at the highest
Yeah,
of highs.
I'm kind of ruining it for people. I think like I love it so much that you can't possibly get to my level.
Now, no, look, I love the passion. I always love if people are passionate about one specific show or movie. No, that always makes me so happy. Like, even if I don't understand it, I don't need to understand it. It's your passion. Like, that's
Exactly.
so fucking cool.
So let yourself be strengthened by the fact that I say I do not watch television, and
Yes.
this is the thing that I choose to be passionate about.
Yes, that's saying volume. Yeah, that's she's speaking volumes. Yes, correct. No, but Chris, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for all your time, because
Of
we
course,
spent some time together, and I really appreciate all your time and patience with my questions. and you answer all of them. Thank you. So before we say goodbye, let's flip the table. Do you have a question or two for me?
We already talked about like TV shows that you would suggest to me as things that are worth my time.
Hmm.
So yeah, that would have been the question, but we've already talked about that.
Just to say, the easy answer for me, The Wire. Genuinely, the quote unquote problem, especially now, the way we consume media, it's slow paced as fuck. But
I
if
don't mind
you,
that. I don't mind a slow thing.
that's the thing, if you get into it, you will be rewarded infinitely. Because every season is different. Every season is about, that's not a spoiler. Every season it's its own thing about different set of, like a different setting, but it all kind of ties in together. If you follow the money, you never know where it's gonna lead you. It's you can tell it's written by ex-cops because
Right.
the stories there's most of the time there's like a one big story. There's not it's not a CSI. Hey, at the end of this episode, we solved this murder. We go home now. We are so good.
Yeah.
They work on one big case pretty much the entire season, and you see the nuance that goes into actual police work. And the ending stays with you for all yeah, like the ending stays with you because they made some bold choices, and it's like in any lesser TV show it would feel like really that's kind of a cop out, but in this show it's like yeah, no, like yeah, that makes all the sense because like at the end of the day, it's about real life. So this what we see, it makes all the sense.
Right. Because it's like natural. It comes
Yes,
across as
yeah.
like genuine.
Hmm. And again, and so that and Boardwalk Empire again, it's a great Prohibition era show because it's about mafia and like Al Capone, but really Al Capone doesn't come in until like second or third season, I think. Or doesn't become Al Capone, like if I remember correctly. It's a but it's gangsters. Martin Scorsese is behind it, but it's much more than that. If you expect, oh hey, it's another Martin Scorsese gangster vehicle, what a fucking deal! Ooh, that's you. No, no,
Hmm.
no, it's fucking awesome. And again, the amount of talented actors that became stars right after the show, phenomenal.
Hmm. Right. So yeah, those are the two shows that I have already like decided like if I ever get back to television, those are ones that I will make time for.
Hmm. Hmm.
But who knows when I'll get in that mood again?
Of course.
And the shows that may not exist now yet that will by then. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we're stacking up on things that I may need to watch in the future.
Hmm. Hmm.
I did have one other question for you
Tell
though,
me.
because you may have a similar experience to me. Like I get slightly excited or intrigued whenever a Dutch person makes it in Hollywood.
Yes.
Like when Paul Verhoeven became big there directing Blade Runner and things like that. He didn't direct Blade Runner,
I
he
was gonna
directed
say
RoboCop.
yes. You became big
I
for a
caught
different
myself.
movie. It's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Like that was exciting to me, like growing up loving movies, knowing that there was a Dutch director,
Hmm.
knowing that Jan de Bont directed Speed. That was awesome for me to know that you could be Dutch and make it big in America. You could be Rutger Hauer and be in Blade Runner. That's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
Um, you're from the Czech Republic, right?
Correct.
Who are there any Czech people in Hollywood that you're like, I'm so happy that person's there?
Well, there was really one Milos Forman
Yeah.
who
Okay.
like that dude what he had to go through like if I remember correctly, his parents were in a concentration camp or like grandparents, like something like that. He had to escape. Like he was pretty good and big filmmaker in Czechoslovakia at the time,
Hmm.
but communism happened in 1968 happened when we got occupied by Russia. Surprise, Russia? Or
What? Russia?
back then Soviet Union,
Yeah.
comrade. Okay, comrade. And yeah, no, so because of that, a lot of our good, talented people, like athletes, like Martina Navratilova,
Hmm.
she won most of her Grand Slams under American flag.
Right, because she fled and
So
had
she could
to.
actually
Yeah.
pursue her passion. The
Yeah.
same for Milos Forman. He was like, fuck this. I cannot bend a knee over this shit, and they will not let me make my movies. There was like a lot of movies being made But it was always like, oh, hey, comrades, everything is fine. And I'm like, oh, we work and we're fine. It's funny. Yeah, yeah. And there are some great movies, but like, like, yeah, he wouldn't thrive there. So he had to escape to America. There is a great documentary about him. It's a 4 hour long documentary, but it can be watched like two-hour episodes, kind of.
Hmm.
If I remember correctly, it's called What Doesn't Kill You. And obviously now he's also dead. So it's a poorly titled documentary. But no, it's a joke. No, but like but it was obviously made long before he died. So like he talks about his, opinions or his experiences. There's Michael Douglas because obviously like I don't know, obviously. Famously, he was a producer on a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He was an
Hmm.
actor, but he produced it alongside Kirk Douglas, his dad, right? So like, and he talks about his relationship, how they stayed friends over the years and stuff like that. And that I after watching that documentary, I was sitting back in Czech Republic before I moved to Scotland, thinking, damn, there is a chance if this fucking dude could make it despite communism, despite Nazis, damn. That there is a chance that I could probably make it to be like a director because like that's always been my dream job to be a director. All right. And yeah, so like, seeing him succeed, I was always like, oh, that's nice. And like we've never had anybody that level. I like we had some great directors. They were occasionally like even nominated for like a best international feature, but we haven't had any best international feature like actually making the top five since 2003.
Hmm.
It's been a so like yeah, he is the obvious one. Like he is the one that like many would there's she's quite known as well because her movie Daisies mainly is quite regarded as one of the best ones. Like that's also on one of those lists. That always makes me happy. I still haven't seen it. Vera Chytilová. She's been this like always portrayed as this angry lady, but she like her movies had like a very unique like feminist point of view. And Daisies is like the pinnacle of that. I still haven't seen it, but I would love to, but I don't think it's streaming anywhere right now for me. So, but she's been kind of well respected enough because again, mainly the movie, many filmmakers talk about that. Many filmmakers talk about Foreman and like what he did with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Amadeus, obviously, yeah. I would say mainly him, just to see like how that was the year that Spielberg came out of Jaws and he won the best movie and director.
Hmm.
And so like that's always like to beat Spielberg with who fucking just did Jaws, one of the best movies and one of the like, the movie that defined
Yeah,
blockbusters.
the movie that just changed movies, and you beat
Yes,
him.
yes, and this little drama called about mental asylum patients,
Yeah,
won all the awards. I always thought it was damn. There is something very fascinating about it. So yeah, that would be my very
yeah.
long answer to a very short question.
I mean, it's kind of in line. I mean, Paul Verhoeven is more of like a populist filmmaker than Milos Forman ever was. I think. But but we both kind of have to reach back for that. Like, I mean, Paul Verhoeven is still making movies, but
hmm
his highlights were all in the 80s, a little bit
80s and
90s.
90s, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm
So, and even if I think like now, like who are the Dutch people in Hollywood now? I struggle to think of more than just Michiel Huisman, who is like the actor who was the second Dario on Game of Thrones.
Oh, I was gonna say
Um,
Carice Van Houten, no?
Chris van Houten, obviously, of course, yeah, but that's really off of the back of like one movie,
And
like
one
Black
well,
Book with
and Game of Thrones.
and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
Black Book is fucking great movie.
Black Book is a great movie, also directed by Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, and Carice's friend, Haline Rijn, made Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh yes.
So she's hopefully now getting a little bit into like making more high profile things in America. Is there anyone current in in Hollywood who's Czech?
Not, I don't think so. To be honest, dude, when I see like I've seen what's being pushed for like our Oscars, like Czech version, we call it Lion. So like Czech Lion, that's the Oscars of Czech Republic.
Hmm.
And like those movies seem all the same. Like, oh, drama about this, drama about this, drama about this. And I'm
We
like,
have the exact same thing. Yeah, we have basically just a social drama or a rom com. That's all we
Yes.
make.
Yes, and those, and to be fair, we don't even make rom-coms. We make still these like stupid fucking comedies where it's like absolute dog shit, but people seem to enjoy them. But obviously, those will not get any Oscar recognition, right? There was a movie just like 2 years ago made by this guy who back in the day was like a just teenage actor. So everybody was like, "Oh, he's a kind of dumbass." But apparently, he made a great movie that actually had a shot, but it was not like it was on a short list for like 10. It's called Waves. I still haven't seen it, but apparently it's supposed to be excellent. But
Wait,
that
is that
still
the
didn't.
waves I'm thinking of?
No, 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 no. It's not the Waves from 2019. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. I think Shane has actually, like, well, Shane has seen every movie ever,
Yes.
but
Shane doesn't sleep in his days of 34 hours.
no, no, he doesn't. But I think he's the only one out of our Sif crew that actually logged that movie. I still, like, as a Czech person, I still haven't logged that movie, but I hear good things about it. But just the problem is, like, look, if I need to put on my pirate hat and like sail some seas, like but I would prefer not to.
Do you have like the same aversion that I have to like watching movies in your own like language in your mother tongue?
It's not even a version. It's more like I know. Like look, I have this like a Czech streaming site that somehow works here with no VPN. I'm like, hey, I'll try to and I'll watch some movies, but it's not even a version. It's more like I like to see what other people think about a movie. But most of those movies
Right.
have like are like logged on Letterboxd like, hey, 40 times. And I'm like, number 41. Ooh. And we have some great, even from the communist era. Like there are some great like comedies or like dramas like before we actually had an international winner back in 60, I think, 6. It's a movie called Closely Wait, Watched or Observed Trains. It's a great movie.
Hmm.
It's a great movie, and it's a bit horny. It's a chick
Can't go wrong there.
yeah, it's a Czechoslovakian movie. We're horny bastards. But also it's a great movie. And he was before Foreman. He was like the dude to watch out for. And he kind of, I think, because of communism, he was kind of like he never fled Czechoslovakia. So I
Hmm.
think meant his name is Jiří Menzel. He's also passed away now. And he did great movies in Czechoslovakia. Sorry, but he never reached that kind of peak. And I don't know if it's just communism or he didn't want to, or it was like, don't know. But he made some great movies, but nobody besides Czech people have ever seen him. There is a guy, the last time we won, or first time we won as Czech Republic was for a movie called Kolia about this older person taking care of this Russian boy back before it wasn't controversial. But like it was like 97, I think, 98. So that was the last time we actually won. And that guy, the director, was then offered quite a few like dramas in Hollywood.
Hmm.
But he passed on all of them. He was like, I wouldn't know how to approach this subject. I wouldn't know how to approach this. So he played it a bit too safe. So he went back to Czech Republic and just made movies there. A lot of great movies. I would recommend. But I always feel like I just wish he like taken a fucking risk on himself in a way. And I would love to speak to him, like whether if he could go back in time, whether he would be like he was offered like a what's his name, abortion movie with Michael Caine. He won an Oscar for it. Like fuck. I need to. It's a movie about. I haven't seen it yet. It's a
Nothing's coming to mind, so I don't think I've seen this either.
Michael Caine. That was the one he won an Oscar for, and it's the movie. I'm loading it up, loading up. This is a great podcast. Cider House Rules.
Oh, it's
I
on my list. I haven't seen that yet.
Yes, on mine too. And it's been directed by, if I'm not mistaken, Lars Halmstrom, who is like this kind of dude who for these kind of dramas. And
Right.
yes, Lars Halmstrom, which I'm probably butchering it because I'm not Swedish. But yeah, he was offered that movie. He was like, "Oh yeah, but I don't know how I would approach this subject, so I'm gonna back out." And I'm like, dude, I just wish you would take a chance on yourself that time. Yeah, like because that would be such a fucking cool thing to have somebody there to be like,
Yeah,
hey,
that didn't strike me as being like a very American culture film. That like
I
that seems
think
like a very human, like universal.
I think what made it unapproachable, if I'm not mistaken, it's like a within like a certain, not a Mormons, but some sort of like a closed like a
Oh,
religious community. That's the
right.
abortion, and I think that's what, again, haven't seen it. Great podcasting, I know, guys, I know. But like it, and I think that's why he passed on it. But he had like two other offers for like pretty good dramas that turned out to be like pretty good dramas. And like every time I see it, like like some like IMDb trivia, oh, this was an offer for this person. I was like, shit, he could have done this. He could have done this. I'm like, so yeah, right now I genuinely don't think we have one. I know there are some people who try to go to Hollywood, but most of them I was like, yeah, I tried.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot either. It's just those couple that we could think of together. Like I've still been like churning my mind. Like, is there anyone like very obvious that I missed? But yeah, it's not a whole lot of crossover.
Yeah, it's not, but that was actually a very good question. Like I don't think anybody asked me that, but yeah, I wouldn't say there's like a reprehension. It's more like it's like such an easy thing to do to watch a movie in my language, you
Right.
know?
Maybe it's just that like there aren't that many great Dutch films, and just
Really?
because like the ones that come out now, especially, are like very much like they're almost like Adam Sandler takes the crew on vacation, and then while they're
Uh,
there, they shoot a rom com, that sort of thing.
I see, I see.
That's the kind of thing they do, and it's always like the same 10 actors in all of them.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like I don't even like I think the two most well known Dutch films are probably like Soldier of Orange and then The Vanishing.
The Vanishing is a great one.
It's an excellent film, but
Yes.
yeah, I think those are the big two. I don't think we even have a third.
I would say like I watched it because of Sh again Shin Konto, honorable mention again. We watched Turks Fruit.
Oh, yeah, well, that's also a Verhoeven film.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. That's
very early Rutger Hauer in the
yes,
lead there as well. Yeah,
and his penis. Rutger
his
Hauer and
penis
his
has
penis.
second billing in that film, actually.
That's there's a lot of like Rutger like I think I know his penis better than I know my own. Like there's a lot of his penis and then like people. If you want to see Rutger Hauer's penis when he was very young and horny, well, yeah, watch that movie.
Yeah.
Mm, Turkish delight. It's
Yes.
for Turkish delight, and for what it's worth, I actually liked it. Like
I don't think I've ever seen that. I know I've seen
really.
Soldier of Orange, which is also Rutger Hauer and Paul Verhoeven.
Haven't seen that. I've seen that, and I've seen. Have you seen? Wait, is it? I think it's both of them again. Flesh plus blood.
That does not sound familiar,
Like I
but maybe
99%
it's a an English translation of a title
maybe.
that doesn't necessarily Flesh plus Blood.
Yeah, plus yeah. It is Verhoeven. Yes, that's how I like to say it. I'm sorry. Wait, I think
Oh,
it's just.
that is that? Yeah, that's an American film. Yeah,
But is it
I
American
haven't.
thing?
Yeah, because it's Jennifer Jason Lee.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it is Verhoeven and Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, I have
But yeah,
not
like
seen this. Yeah,
yeah.
this is well, this looks like typical 80s. This oh, it is on my watch list.
See, okay. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just gonna say it might look one way, but holy shit, this is a Paul Verhoeven movie in a nutshell. This like
Okay,
it takes that movie takes some wild turns. So like it looks like oh this is a fantasy with the Paul okay yeah it is sure a fuck it's a sure as fuck fantasy yeah but done in a way only Paul Verhoeven could do like for
okay.
better or worse.
I'm much more looking forward to this now. It is not available anywhere.
Well, the pirate
What are you gonna
hat
do?
goes on.
I mean, there. This is the complete tangent, but I'm on a quest to
Ooh.
finally watch all of those trash 1980s fantasy movies that I missed. Like I grew up watching stuff like Dragonheart and stuff. That is
Hmm.
incredible. I have never seen like Dragon Slayer. I've never seen Crawl. All of those are on my watch list.
Me neither. Okay, that's a good. What inspired that side quest?
Um, just because like there are certain genres of films that people are like they don't make these genres anymore,
Hmm? Yeah.
and some of those genres, my initial reaction to them was, did they ever make those?
Hmm.
And it turns out that fantasy they obviously did make small budget fantasy movies, and I just never heard of them because of how small budget they were.
Yep, yep.
It's one of those genres that you really only get the major ones,
Hmm.
like Lord of the Rings and Dragonheart, maybe a couple others,
Yeah.
and it's basically lumped in with like adventure films or like sword and sandal movies
Yes,
and stuff,
yes.
which they did make a bunch of. But yeah, fantasy was basically on the back burner for a long time,
Hmm. Hmm.
basically in the wake of Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And really badly want to go back and watch all those fantasy and sci-fi films in the 80s that were just trying to be tiny Star Wars.
That'd be cool. Yeah, actually, the way you're describing it, I'm like, I actually, yeah, I could fuck with that too, to be honest. Like in a, because again, if I hate something, like I've watched so many movies now, and I like, nothing compared to Shin Konto, but like I watched some decent chunk of my movies, and what I hate, absolutely hate, is the not the worst movies ever. They at least most of them at least try to do something. For me, what's most offensive if I watch a movie and it's the most average movie ever, because there's a chance I will not even remember that movie in a week's time. Whereas if it's a really bad, they will at least stick with me and evoke some emotion. It's like, have you ever like if you ask me, have you ever watched so and so? Oh, that was so bad. Yeah, I watched it. But if you tell me, have you ever watched this Nick Cage movie from 2017? I'll be like, I think I have, but I have to check.
Yeah. Like I have it logged, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like,
Those are the worst. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this movie, and I'll look at IMDb and I'm like, oh wait, I rated it. Oh, oh, that's that movie. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And something tiny comes back and it's like, oh duh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, like a really bad movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, I don't know if you've seen Highlander. It is terrible. I love it.
You mean the original Highlander with
Yeah,
Sean Connery?
the
Yeah,
Sean
yeah,
Connery,
yeah.
Christopher Lambert,
Only
Clancy
once.
Brown.
Yeah, only once. I've seen it. I haven't seen the sequels, but I've seen it only once, and I remember actually kind of vibing with it because again, Queen, Sean Connery, Christopher
It's
Lambert.
so ridiculous that they got Queen to do a soundtrack on a
Yes,
movie that cheap.
yes, yes.
It's not even that it's a terrible movie. It just
Wild.
looks really cheap because it is.
Hmm.
They cast a Belgian to play a Scotsman. They
Yep,
cast a Scotsman to play a Spanish Egyptian.
yep.
They cast Clancy Brown to play some sort of like Attila the Hun looking character.
Diversity. Yes.
It's such a wild movie, and there are sections there like there's a point where Sean Connery is fighting Clancy Brown in like an old castle, and they're swinging swords terribly because they only had 2.5 days to rehearse or whatever.
Hmm.
And one of their swords hits the side wall of the castle, and you can just see the pile of styrofoam just falling down. It's so ridiculous. I love that movie so much, but a big part of that is because I saw it when I was very young. I think I was like 12 or something when I saw it. And I just the idea of the movie was enough for me to completely fall in love with it.
I think I must have seen it when I was also very young because it was definitely one of those movies I've seen in Czech Republic. So I would have been like maybe 14, 15. And I was the only once. I don't remember that scene specifically, but that sounds hilarious. But now see, like I would love, because I'm again completionist, I actually would love to watch all even the sequels. I think there's like two. Is it
There's
one or two?
5 of those
Is it
movies.
five?
There are
Fuck.
5, and there is also a standalone anime movie, which is actually really fun.
Okay. I knew I know there's a TV show. Like they
Yeah,
made it after, like, and apparently the TV show is kind of bad but kind of good. Like I don't know.
the TV show is it falls kind of within the line of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer in terms of
Buffy is awesome.
Buffy's awesome, and I think the Highlander TV show was actually really good for a while.
Mhm.
I've only seen bits and pieces of it because it never really aired where I lived.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and that's the one thing that I would allow myself to go back to watch a TV show. If I could ever get my hands on like a box set of the Highlander show, I would watch it. But yeah, it's because it's a very weird thing. Like the original Highlander with Christopher Lambert, that has 2 sequels,
Hmm.
and then there's the show,
Hmm.
and then they made Highlander Endgame, which is the 4th movie, which is Christopher Lambert and the lead of the TV show together. and then they made another sequel to that movie. So there's 5 movies, and then the TV show all sort of running concurrent.
That reminds me of that quote from BoJack Horseman. What is this, a crossover show? What is it? Is crossover episode?
It's actually really weird because they had this sort of like retcon for the show that I think it's Adrian Paul who plays the lead. He's like related to Christopher Lambert. So
Oh,
they're part of the same clan. Like they're both
okay.
McLeods, and then they had to put like a bunch of flashback stuff in the fourth movie to explain how they're related or
Hey
whatever.
guys, it totally makes sense. Look at this
Yeah,
flashback. Look at this other
yeah.
flashback. It totally makes sense. Okay, just go with us there. Okay, it's fine. It's
But
fine.
yeah, the actually Highlander Endgame is fun in the way that Donnie Yen is in it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's one of the bad guys in that movie, and he's
Like,
probably the best part about it too.
see, like now I really want to see. Like, this is the completionist in me. If I were to rewatch the original Highlander, I would really want to see the at least the movies, like all the movies. Like the TV show, I'm not that big of a completionist, but like the movies, like I love me a box set. Like I love me like I have all like the Psycho box set. I have the Chucky box set I need to get through. Like again, like nowadays, if like that's why like I haven't started many horrors or like the Omen. I still haven't seen it because I would like to see the second and the third, even though I know they should supposed to be not great. Like all those like now if I start something, I wanna finish the actual series.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah. But damn, okay, Highlander. That Donnie Yen in a Highlander movie, like he kind of blew my mind.
It's especially egregious because at the time, obviously, I did not know who Donnie Yen was. I think
Yes.
that movie came out like 25 years ago.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it would have been the first time seeing Donnie Yen. And I do remember very distinctly, like, I immediately loved him. Like, whoever he was, I wanted more of him because he was awesome. He was such a badass. And
Yeah.
then later finding out that the great Donnie Yen, like, lowered himself to star in a Highlander movie.
We all have to start someplace, all right? Like,
Yeah.
like
Might have been
that's
one of his first Hollywood films, to be perfectly honest.
probably like if you I would not be surprised if you check his filmography, he had a bunch of stuff, from like where he is he Chinese?
I think he's Chinese, yeah.
Yeah, from China. I'm would like it's the same kind of trajectory, isn't it? Like, if you check out Michelle Yeoh or Jackie Chan, they have a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff in China, and then they break through to Hollywood, and then they kick ass in Hollywood. So like, I would not be surprised if you check out Donnie Yen and it's like, hey, he's been going solid in China for 10 years, and this was his first, attempt in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and
It's
we don't
just like
talk.
how Jet Li suddenly showed up in like Lethal Weapon 4.
Yeah, exactly. And then just he kind of had a like, string of Hollywood movies, like,
Hmm.
where he was like in a lot of them and then he wasn't. And I always feel bad because like he is pretty fucking kick-ass too. So I'm like, I kind of miss Jet Li. Like, bring him
Same.
back. Bring him back.
I thought he was sick for a while. Like he had
No.
like
Yes.
but I don't know enough about that to actually say a lot about it. I just thought
Oh
I
wait,
read
actually
about him
sick.
being sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you mean like sick, like cool.
Well,
Okay.
that too. But I think he had like an autoimmune disease or something that
I
he
don't
was
know.
getting medication for.
To be
I don't
fair, I
know.
don't
I
know.
remember reading that.
My enthusiastic yes was like, yeah, obviously, yeah, he's
Yeah,
sick.
he's
Like it's
sick.
just,
Yeah.
like he's deadly, like he's obviously like very fucking like like in a cool way. I didn't know like if he's actually sick. No, like that's a very enthusiastic. No, please no. Just
please,
to make
please,
it clear.
yeah, please get well soon so you can
Yes,
continue to be sick.
yeah, no, exactly, like the good kind of sick. Anyway, any other question for me?
I think it was it. I think I've taken up enough of your time with these two questions.
I think I've taken up a lot of your time on it, like pardon me. Like
That's fine.
honestly, I had it now, but Chris. Had a blast. I really hope if somebody is still here with us for almost 4 hours later, I also hope they had a blast. If people did, where could they find you? Was that one place? Where could they find you?
You can find me on Letterboxd at Chris Badkinson. And if you really want to yell at me, I guess you can find me on Discord. I mean,
Ooh,
I'm one of the moderators at the CinemaSins Discord server, so you can probably just add me there and yell at me if you want.
nice,
I'll probably
nice.
ban you if you do. But you can do it.
You have the power.
I have the power. I don't abuse the power. I should be very clear about that.
Of
I
course,
don't just randomly ban people.
you strike me as one of the most responsible people I've talked to on this show. So like I know you're a good guy. Like no, but honestly, thank you so much for all your time. So appreciated greatly. As for me, as always, any movies lost on Letterboxd or here every other Friday. And yeah, that's it. So this podcast is part of SPTM Crew Media, and special thanks goes to HiFlyer Creative for designing my logo. To see what else they have happening, visit hiflyercreative.com. And until next time, bye bye.
Bye.